That's the
Ben.
sound of scraping.
Ben.
No, I talked first.
Ben. Ben.
Tell them who we've got guesting on the thing today.
Today we are coming to you live from Laura's apartment. Laura isn't here; she's off visiting relatives. But
The address is beep.
redacted.
At beep.
Show cancelled. Ben,
from an undisclosed location somewhere in Britain,
the hills of Britain. Coming to you live.
Classified location.
There's me, there's Ben, and we've got the cat Zelda. She's got a new kitty tower that was recently given to her.
Don't tell them the cat's real name. That's a breach of GDBBR.
Not GDBBR.
Not the same.
Well, Ben, you've had experience.
I always hold the microphone to my mouth, even though it's attached to me.
Yes.
I'm like an old person with technology sometimes.
You can let it all hang out if you want.
So this thing records our voices?
Yes.
And then you take those and you put it on the internet.
We have a whole 15 hours to play around with.
I don't know what the fuck you're on about, mate.
I'm off my tits.
You're talking. No offense, but you sound like an absolutely insane person.
A raving maniac.
No offense. I mean, you're a perfect nice guy. But I think you might be mentally ill.
Well, speaking of mentally ill, Ben, today we have finally ditched off the last remnants of Roger Moore's Bond.
That's not a good segue.
No, it's a terrible one. Okay, let me try again.
Can't try again. This is live.
So, Ben, speaking of mentally infirm people, Roger Moore has gone. He's dead.
He's actually dead. You can't say that.
Dead. Well, Sean Connery's dead as well now.
I know,
so
everyone's dead.
You're dead or dying. George Lazenby's still alive, though. He didn't have much to say about No Time to Die.
I think he's George Lazenby just laughing somewhere in a mansion. I win!
Take that, boys!
I win the Bond.
I am Bond. I am Bond.
Cool. I've won, mate, because he's Australian.
Bonza.
Fucking crackers.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, we've finally thrown off the waistcoat that is A View to a Kill, arguably the best Bond film ever made.
We should get the drunks in here and let them watch the film with us.
Just by the end of it, we're all just singing rock and
Hello.
roll.
Do you like a Joe Don Baker?
I like baking. Yeah, come on in, my
yes,
friend.
of course you do.
Excellent. Why are we doing Donald Pleasance's Blofeld?
I do not know. Come to my parlour. We are watching 1987's The Living Daylights starring Timothy Dalton and Mariam Diabo.
We are finally pressing the button on Uncle Timbo.
The cat is assaulting my presence as we speak.
It's because she heard your Blofeld voice and wanted in on the action.
If you hear a voice, if you hear every now and then we're just mid-sentence and we say, oh, fuck. It's because the cat is trying to be our friend.
She loves us very dearly. So yes, viewer,
Cat,
join.
Come on, cat. We are not a famous YouTuber like me.
No, we have more than 10 subscribers.
And I bet you're not one of them, are you freeloader?
Pay your subscriptions.
You're just a user. That's what you are, Zelda.
Yes, but she's adorable, so we'll allow it.
A slut.
Oh, she is.
I'm talking about you little whore. Yes, I am.
We're taking a look today at the first film from Uncle Timbo himself in The Living Daylights, starring Timothy Timbo Dalton.
To give him his full name.
You may recognise him from Hot Fuzz. That's about it.
Flash Gordon.
He was in Flash Gordon, but Hot Fuzz is what people know and love. She wants to give you kisses.
I know. And she's got her claws right into my tits.
Yeah, she'll do that.
That's good to know. I've got a jumper on as well, so it feels weird.
It's quite deep.
It's pierced my skin, Ben.
Well, while Ben bleeds out, let's enjoy.
That's right. She's got through to the bone.
She's down to the marrow.
She's down to the marrow. That'd be a good name for a podcast. About what? I don't know. But you could call it Down to the Marrow, where you have like an in-depth look at something.
Welcome to Down to the Marrow, where we get down to the marrow about trees.
Yeah, just pick like a topic for the week and get down to the marrow about it.
Oh, wow.
This week we're getting down to the marrow about Noel's house party.
Ben, what you've done there has come up with a better idea than what we're currently doing.
Oh,
so
don't say that. Nothing's better than watching Joe Don Baker.
Right. We are queued up on a black
screen.
screen.
The film, then, or what? Jesus
We're going to hit play on the film now. We are queued up on a black screen, and we're going to hit play in 3, 2, 1, play.
You don't really have to do the cue thing anymore because you can do the little chapter thing on YouTube.
I can. I'm going to do a little sync point on you. And the film's almost immediately turned off. But it's still running.
What a fantastic start.
Still running.
Oh my God.
It's still going.
The cat's stuck. The cat literally couldn't get off my jumper. I trapped her. I'd entrapped her with my charm. Or as other people call it, my jumper.
She was smitten. So Ben, I got
smitten kitten. Yes.
Blood trickles down.
Already losing the plot.
We've already lost the plot. Ben, I was solicited for sex yesterday.
Good. Were you?
Yeah, genuinely.
What happened?
So basically,
you couldn't tell me this before we started watching the film.
Saved it for the podcast. Thought it would be useful.
Saved it for the podcast. I think your cat's trying to commit suicide.
It's okay as long as she can't get her head through the window. It's legal.
Okay.
So basically, I've been looking after the cat now for like a week while Laura is out visiting her sister or my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And last night at around about 1:45, I finished seeing the cat, and it's freezing at the minute because we're recording this in January, and this will be going out in June, so it's icy cold. I left, and it was foggy, it was dark, it was frosty, it was freezing, and I'm driving home, and I turn onto my estate, and stood in the middle of the road in the pitch black because there were no street lights.
Yeah.
Waving frantically is a slightly old woman in a hoodie, pointing at the floor of the road and waving frantically like something's happened. Mildly terrifying because it's pitch black, only my lights are on. So I pull up. I lock the doors because I'm not getting stabbed again. And I crack my window down and I go, "Are you alright? Has something happened?" And she goes, "Mate, I need a lift." And I went, "Oh, right, why? What's going on?" She goes, "I need a lift to..." And she names the place. It's about 10 to 15 minutes away from my estate, but it's in the opposite direction to where I'm going.
I need a lift to the fucking Arkham Asylum loony bin.
Can you take me? It's dead important. I said, "Why? What's going on?" She goes, "Oh, nothing. I just need a lift." And I said, "Well, to be honest, I'm only a minute away from my house, so I'm..."
So no, Dan, you're perfectly within your rights to say no to a crazy person.
So I said, "Look, I'm sorry, I'm a minute away from my house. I can't, I'm afraid." And she goes, "Oh, right, okay, fair enough."
He lost the paintball.
And she pauses.
That's this stag night ruined.
He's out. So he pauses for a second, and then she goes, "Do you want any business?"
What the fuck?
And I was like,
did this happen here, like where we are now?
Yeah, more or less.
Oh wow! So after this recording, I'll just be off to
go and attend the wares of a 70-year-old druggy prostitute.
Well, Dan, someone has to.
Well, yeah.
That is insane.
But the problem is, because my brain didn't process what she'd said quick enough, my gut reaction was to just immediately refuse anything she was offering. So I just immediately went, no.
Are you trying to suggest that otherwise you would have taken up on the offer?
No, but I would have at least been a bit more kind, because instead of sort of saying, "Oh, no, thank you, sorry," and driving off...
You don't have to be kind
polite.
in that situation.
No.
You just tell her to fuck off, you loony.
Well, I'm a nice person. Instead of... No!
So I found there's a really cute story about that actor who's playing the assassin. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Because I guess we'll talk about the film a little bit. And not Dan getting off with old women, as much as everyone loves to hear that.
What?
The idea for this opening sequence was to sort of like play with the audience's idea. Everyone obviously knows it's Tim Dalton, but the idea was like play up who's going to be Bond. So like that's why you have like focuses on the other double O's for a minute. Like they get like close-ups and all the rest of it. Because the idea being like, and then of course when Tim does his little hero turn and John Barry kicks in and oh look Zelda, it's one of your... Oh no, it's a monkey. I thought it was a cat. No. She's a cheeky monkey though, isn't she?
She is.
That actor who's playing the assassin, he was an out of work actor. He was at home. His wife was out. He was looking after his baby, and he got the call from United Artists saying, "Do you want to be in a Bond film? We're shooting tomorrow. Fly out to Gibraltar. We'll pay for a plane for you to go to Gibraltar where they shot this." So he left. He left the baby with a neighbour. He didn't just leave the baby. Left the baby with a neighbour, and left. This are the days before fucking like mobile phones. Couldn't just text her, so he had to leave a note for his wife to say he was going to be in a Bond film. Because he had to get on a plane for Gibraltar. Like they said, "Do you want to do it?" "Yeah, we have to get on a plane now because we're doing it tomorrow." So his wife came home to a note saying something like, "Just popped off to Gibraltar. Going to be in the new Bond film. Bye."
Do not contact me again.
Do not approach. Do not speak to me. Do not communicate. Do not look me in the eyes. It's over. No, I'm sure it was very lovely. Oh man.
Wow.
So yeah, and Tim Dalton, who was this was like he actually auditioned as early back as 1969.
Oh wow.
When Connery first left, and then they auditioned him again for Live and Let Die, but he was deemed to be too young.
Oh.
And then they auditioned him for Your Eyes Only, and for A View to a Kill. They just kept going back to him.
Wow.
They were really, really keen to get him. So it's a sort of a finally moment for him, really.
I just find it amazing that they, after all of those years of auditioning, they got him back for 2 films and then got rid of him.
Well, they also auditioned another actor for this film, for Bond. Oh, well, they auditioned a few. You can go on YouTube and find the screen tests for Sam Neill.
Oh.
Did a part. James Brolin.
Oh.
Had a crack at it. Loads and loads. Basically, anyone who was like male and between 30 and 45 got a go at screen testing for it. But they got another actor to screen test for it, a young whippersnapper by the name of Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, yes. Now, you were mentioned way back, I think it was with the From Russia with Love commentary, that there was some strange happenstance around Pierce Brosnan.
Basically, yeah,
Bond.
he was in Remington Steele at the time, and the TV show, and that got cancelled. So United Artists were like approached him and said, right now your schedule's a bit free. Do you want to come and be Bond? And he was well up for it. But then what happened is NBC, which I think was a bit of a power move, to be honest, suddenly announced, "Oh, we're doing another season of Remington Steele, and you're still in contract, so got to do that instead.
Get to work."
And basically there was a weird power play between NBC and United Artists, and it all got very boardroomy and political and blah blah blah. And Pierce didn't get a go this time, but as we'll know, I do love. This is a great little bit, but it does feel very shoehorned in. Like they're like, well, he's got to pull a bird.
Yeah,
in the opening sequence,
and you don't even get like a post-bang scene. Like all the Bonds normally get like a scene where they're on a bed and he's got no top on.
I'm really sorry that they don't no longer have scenes of a naked 95-year-old knobbing it off with 19-year-olds.
Luke, all I'm saying,
I know that's the main reason you do these. That's your main appeal. That was Ben, I want to watch films where 19-year-olds get off with 95-year-olds. Do you have a franchise you could suggest?
It's the only way I can achieve.
Matron.
Also, worst Bond intro in history.
Well, they've not been good for a good song though.
No.
Yes.
No, not as good as View to a Kill.
It is.
It's not.
The Living Daylights by A.K.A. is a good song.
It's not a good song. This whole intro and theme tune was
You're objectively wrong. It's good.
No. I'm not wrong. I'm just different.
And that was all from Question Time tonight. Join us next week when on the panel we'll have William Rees-Mogg, Boris Johnson and Noel Edmonds. Until then, good night.
Anyway, I didn't get to finish my Saucy Salation story, so I got
It was
off
getting
with
me
her.
far too excited.
So I got off with it.
That's why I had to that's why I had to stop the story. I was getting too much of a stalk on.
No, basically, so she said, do you want any business? And my ADHD-addled brain, like my gut instinct was to immediately just sort of very jollily and politely go, no, thank you.
Yes.
Where she was like, oh, a bit taken aback that I was so, like, kingly in my response.
How could you not want to have sex with a stranger? What's wrong with you?
So she goes, all right, well, have you got 10p for the bus? And I just did an Alan Partridge and hit the accelerator and drove off. And then I looked in the mirror and saw her sort of wading through the fog and mist into the distance.
And then you said to a guy next to you, and I was a bit crazy, one that old woman, and he went, what old woman? And he turned around and there was no one there.
And then a skeleton popped out.
So apparently there was a repeat of the Duran Duran situation, but worse.
Oh, great.
With this song. What I mean is that John Barry and A.K.A. didn't get on.
Yes.
At all. To the point where this mix that appears on the soundtrack in the film is significantly different than the mix that they released on their own album.
Oh.
A couple of years later. By the way, say goodbye to John Barry. This is his last outing.
Oh.
Yeah.
R.I.P. John Barry.
Well, he didn't die. He just didn't do the music anymore.
Well, he may not have died, Ben, but the franchise almost certainly did.
Oh, yeah, it has a song by the Pretenders in it.
Yes, was that the end song?
Yeah, the end song, and later on, when he's blowing up the country house.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I prefer For Your Eyes Only to this theme tune.
What? Whoa. For Your Eyes Only?
Yes.
The shittest, wettest, fucking cheesiest song known to man.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, this song's got a bit of like... It's a bit cheesy production-wise, but it was 1987. I'll take this over For Your Eyes Only any day of the pissing week.
I think I'm going For Your Eyes Only on theme tune level at least.
Well, I prefer Mozart Symphony No. 4.
Ah,
and
excellent.
I knew what this piece was without looking at the subtitles.
Yeah.
I know my classical music. I love Rembrandt and Picasso and all the rest of them. They're great.
I'm going to get my biggest gripe with this film out of the way from the top because I feel like it will engage a lively conversation.
The flags look too weird. The film is rubbish. 5 out of 10, come and see me.
4 out of 10 fail. In bin. I feel like this film feels like it's trying to be a Sean Connery era film, but without the actual elements that made a Sean Connery film good.
Well, at one point, the suggestion, which they wouldn't do for a number of years, which we'll get to eventually, but the idea for this film was to do a prequel.
Oh.
To have it before Doctor No.
Oh, wow.
And like the film was going to end with him getting the mission in Doctor No.
Oh, blimey.
Which they didn't go with in the end. I think it was Cubby Broccoli who vetoed it, who said something like, the audience aren't interested in a young Bond. Cut to 2006. You know, comedy cut to 2006.
Boom, 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 boom.
But yeah, it is definitely. I think the mission for this one was just
don't be A View to a Kill.
No exploding blimps, please.
No Nazis holding dynamite going.
Yeah, when you think about the last film had that shot, one of the greatest shots in cinema history of Monocle Man going, I'm going to blow you up now.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I think that's the thing for me.
There's lots of scenes like this of like like espionage and sneaking around and contacts and all the rest of it. It's not
the
quite
cat has
as
just decided to dig its claws directly into my kneecap.
She dug her claws right into my fucking stomach before, and it really hurt.
It does. Ow!
The price one pays,
You
eh?
little gremlin.
We think we're the ones in control here. we are mistaken.
We thought we were smart. We thought we knew better.
Now, Bond, it's exposition time.
Now, Bond, it's very simple. We need to shoot a woman in the head.
Well, they don't know it's a woman yet.
No. Of course, Bond's penis does the talking in the end. And the days.
You want the soft-nosed ones, I expect. No, I prefer ribbed. That's a... Oh, you were talking about... Yeah. Yes.
No, I wasn't implying... Oh, hey.
I'm just trying... Saunders, you... What a cunt you are.
Timothy Dalton as Bond, like him. I think he's a really decent Bond. He's got kind of a nice subtlety in his performance, which I think Roger didn't have.
Compared to Roger.
Yeah.
But, they're good for different reasons, aren't they? Like,
I think you put it best back when we were doing Sean Connery era Bond, which is that Bond is quite pendulous.
Yeah.
It sort of swings between serious and funny.
All the time. It'll just like, I said this in a previous one, but they'll be like, oh, these films get a bit too silly. Let's make it all dark and serious. And then they'll get bored of that and go, it's a bit too dark. Let's make it funny again.
Let's lighten it up a little.
And then it's like Doctor Who. It just constantly shifts between those two tones all the time.
Yeah, no, agreed. But yeah, I think the biggest problem I have with this film is there are large periods where
Tim Dalton has striking eyes.
he does.
Maybe that's the HD restoration.
He's a very defined actor. Like
Defined.
You see him and you immediately know he's unmistakable.
Do you mean refined or defined?
Defined. He's like he's almost got an iconic look about him. You can pick him up in a crowd almost immediately.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah.
What was I saying? Yeah, I think my biggest grief with this film is that there is just large periods where they're, quote, titting about.
You can apply that to any of them.
Well, but like titting about when it's fun is fine. But
I believe that's the official Hollywood name for action sequences. Yes.
What are we shooting
today,
boss?
We're shooting the titting about sequence.
Oh, we shooting
in Afghanistan.
Is it the titting about in the desert or the titting about in the snow one?
No, it's the titting about in the city with one of the hammiest fucking actors going. Is it Leon Crabb? I think he's called. Who plays General Koskov?
Yes.
And he's just, he's just a bit too much.
Yeah.
Feels like his performance is coming from another film.
Yeah, like a 60s Bond film.
Yeah, he's just a bit like, yeah.
The subtlety is kind of lost. No,
Ice the bitch!
I can't kill her. I'll just permanently damage her hands. I know she's a musician and she needs them to play, but fuck it.
Aim for the hair. That's the lady's weak point, right?
Oh no, my left buttock.
Well, unlike you, Saunders, I've actually had sex with a girl.
No,
What have you done?
Not in this movie, though.
I think you'll find, Saunders, that I have had sex with at least 3 women.
But none of them in this film, though. I'm very salty about the lackey doesn't bang in this film.
You're so horny today. You're getting knobbed off old women. Knobbed off it. It's God. I'm going to keep that cat far away from you. That's the last. That's the last pussy you'll get. Trust me.
Ben Laura's been gone for 4 days.
I made a pussy joke.
You did.
I mean, we are watching Pond. I guess it's only fair.
This commentary is now R-rated. Kids, go to bed.
Ah, see what I did there? I said the thing you said to me back to you.
Oh,
do you like how that works?
Oh,
I bet you do, don't you? You dirty old cunt, Saunders.
Bond, you're as witty as Oscar Wilde.
I like to think Saunders just got like a bee in his bonnet because like Bond is at the MI5 bar with all the lads telling stories about knobbing Russian assassins and jumping off mountains and going to space. And so, what did you do today, Saunders? Oh, you did some very exciting paperwork, did you? Good for you. Me? I went to space, cunt.
I shot a man into the deepest, darkest recesses of space. What did you do for an evening?
I fought a man with metal teeth.
I fought a man who wanted to cause earthquakes in Silicon Valley for no reason.
What did you do? Feed your fish, did you? Feed them good? Yes?
Have you ever blown a billionaire out of an airplane? I have.
You ever blown a billionaire? I have.
You ever sunk an underwater crab monster? It's largely robotic? I have.
She's a fun character. She should have been in it more.
Yes.
TV sports commentary. Well, maybe I want to know what the... Hey, subtitles, maybe I want to know what the TV sports commentary says. That's not very nice on deaf people.
Yeah. One of the things that annoys me about this film, and other Bond films in particular, is when characters speak in Russian, they don't translate what they're saying into English, which I thought would have been a nice Easter egg.
They do, sometimes.
They just say speaks in Russian, usually.
Oh, you're about the subtitles?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the actual film.
No.
Apparently this is based on a real thing.
Okay, the plan is really simple. You get in the tube, we blast you at 400 million miles an hour over the border, and if you're still intact on the other side, you live.
I mean, you would just die.
Yes.
Surely.
Yes.
And the film would be over because we've already wiped out our villain before we knew he was the villain.
You know how bad it is? I was going to do a joke where they open the tube and it's just like an imploded body with blood everywhere.
It's just a skeleton steaming.
And I was going to sing some lyrics to the theme from The Living Daylights, but I can't actually remember the theme to The Living Daylights.
I will sing the entirety of Living Daylights if you want. To prove how good it is. Because when I sing a song, my tremulous baritone just makes it all the better, obviously.
Why not?
But yeah, I was talking about his hammy performance, like when he's like, "How many people have you tested on? You're the first." Oh, when he does like a little girly scream.
Click. It's soundproofed, so its scream gets cut off as the door slams shut.
But that's what happens in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet Saunders doesn't do this.
Oh, hello.
Saunders, you bastard.
It's better than the original plan. The original plan was him and Desmond Llewellyn trying to do this.
Hello, do you want a bit of this?
just with a little smile, he just starts unbuttoning his shirt.
So was this what happened when you spoke to that woman the other day?
Basically. Only, you've got to imagine I had the window down like an inch because I didn't want to catch death corona.
I don't want to catch hepatitis IV.
Yeah, through airborne transmission.
This isn't really connected to the film, but it's more films in general. But there's a lot of old DVDs where they'll have like someone that needs to be subtitled, like a foreign character will be speaking. Apparently, I can't fucking speak, ironically, and the subtitles will just be like written in like like subtitle, like DVD subtitle type font.
Yeah.
Like they've added it in after the fact for the DVD, and then on Blu-ray, it's the original text of the original formatting. So what's the deal there?
I suppose it's because when they are striking the footage from the original negatives, the subtitles would have been burnt in at that point.
Yeah.
So when they were doing maybe the DVD master, I don't know, maybe they had like a work print or something that they scanned in for the actual thingy, so they could actually do the original subtitles. But as times changed, preservation has kind of overtaken quality.
Right.
So they prefer to go back to the original elements rather than, you know.
We're going to put you in another pipe.
Oh no, not another pipe.
Straight from Germany to the UK.
About halfway through.
How many people have you done this on? You're the 45th. None of them have lived.
Click. About halfway through the pipe, it just ends because we couldn't afford to fucking finish our side. Just gets ejected into the ocean.
The workers couldn't be arsed.
It's just a bloke sort of eating a sandwich with a hard out on a tube just goes flying past into the ocean.
Oh, Darren, what was that? Fuck it.
You want another cup of tea?
Yeah, go on then, Neil Charner.
Here in the distance, really quiet.
Darren, did you get those fags?
Yeah,
I told you to get the fucking fags the other day, didn't I, mate?
You still want that copy of Viz, mate? This commentary is brought to you by Viz.
Oh my God, that's...
It's not. Oh no, an airplane.
See, what's happened here is we've time travelled to 1900. That's why everyone's amazed and looking at it. What are the Wright brothers up to now? A flying machine?
Oh my God, a great metal bird.
Some kind of bird demon. Shoot it at once.
They did end up doing a range of young James Bond novels, didn't they?
Yeah, I've got one.
Any good?
I don't think I actually finished it.
Oh.
Yeah, they're written by Charlie Higson.
Really?
Who's also done some of the mainline Bond books as well. I can't remember what it was called, but I had one of the young Bond ones, and I don't know, I think it just didn't grab me. I don't give a shit what Bond did as a teenager.
Does teenage Bond still...
Hang on, we're going to get the title drop. Yeah, he said, Bond, that's the name of the film. Saunders, you really know how to ruin moments, don't you, you utter prick.
Not as good as the way they
What's
did it.
What's the point of you, Saunders?
Not as good as the way they did it in A View to a Kill.
It's still a little clunky here, but it's at least more... It's more better than in A View to a Kill.
We have a
Wait a minute.
Moneypenny variant.
Moneypenny, you appear to have regenerated.
Moneypenny, the surgery you've had is fantastic. You look at least 60 years younger.
That means Desmond Llewellyn is the only old fart left from the old gang.
Yeah. Well, who would be the longest serving at this point? Would it be M or Q?
Q. Because his first appearance was from Russia with Love.
Was it?
Yeah. And he goes all the way up into Pierce's era. So.
Oh, wow.
Fun fact. Here's fun fact number one. Fun fact number one. This is the most 1987 thing you will ever see in your life. The perfect combination of consumerism and destruction.
That's not right. It should shoot jam. Oh,
Q, I worry about you sometimes. I really, really genuinely do.
Don't worry about me, Bond. I'm fine. Now get me to my hot air balloon.
And that special effect was activated, and there's photographic evidence of this, by one Prince Charles.
Really? Because
Prince Charles and Di visited the set this day when they were doing all the Q stuff. And there was a minor... Of course, Moneypenny would like Barry Manilow. That makes perfect sense. Of course. He just Harvey Weinsteined her.
Wow.
Just slapped her on the arse.
Cancelled.
Cancel Bond.
Timothy Dalton is already in my bad books now.
Cancel Bond at once. There's our Grant clone for the film.
Excellent.
Wouldn't be a Bond film without an Aryan man who punches people.
Only this time...
Every Bond film must include them by law.
Only this time he has a jazzy set of headphones he gets to listen to some music on whilst he murders people.
Okay, I take it back. That's the most 1987 thing.
Yes.
But yeah, so Charles and Di were visiting the set when they're doing all the Q stuff. And they did like a thing where Di had a prop glass and she smashed it over Charles's head. Oh. And all the photographers, obviously, immediately, all the fucking paparazzi just went... And that was like the headline for like... I don't know if... I imagine, because it's the British tabloids and they're all scumbags, they probably tried to pass it off as like, Royal Rumble. Trouble in Paradise. You know.
Die another day.
Yes. Brilliant. That's Dan's day job, by the way. He works for The Sun. He writes the headlines.
Cool, blimey. Yeah, it's just me and Diddy Andy Hamilton.
He literally just comes up with the headlines, nothing else.
Yeah. It's just
Goes
me
down
and...
to London, they pay him £45,000 a week, and then he fucks off.
Just me and Diddy Gary Bushell. Do you remember Gary Bushell? Do you remember when Gary Bushell used to be funny? No, me neither.
I'm trying not to, Dan. I'm trying not to. Yeah, so I mean, like, he's just so over the top. Food! I love food!
Is it good? No, not really. I hate food. It's awful. One of the things that I think was a bit of a missed trick, really, is, you know how that bad guy...
Oh, Tory prick's back.
Oh, yeah. Bond, you look 20 years younger. Fuck.
You know how he's always on the villain side, like when when Nazi Aryan comes in later to blow it all up. No, I think he's perfectly innocent. I say we give him whatever he wants.
Hey, we laugh at him now. He'd probably have a pretty respectable job on the front bench currently. Right, Tory voters?
He'd probably be dead currently.
Which would make him a perfect candidate to vote in the front line. One of the things I think was a bit of a missed trick, really, with this Bond villain who listens to music while he murders people is it would have been quite neat if just faintly in his headphones you could hear old Bond themes playing.
Well, they've done stuff like that before. I think in one of them you hear a snatch of Nobody Does It Better. Oh. And remember an Octopussy?
Yes.
With the shit guy with the snake? Didn't
they do that with in From Russia with Love as well, where he's going through all of his sort of things after he's retired?
On Her Majesty's Secret
Service. That's the one.
Oh yeah, but that was non-diegetic. He wasn't listening to them in the scene. Yeah. That was just they were playing that as fan service basically. But yeah, they've done that before where you'll hear little snatches of old music.
Sorry, all I'm hearing in my head is
oh yeah.
Milkman do it on your doorstep.
One thing that puzzles me about Necros, to give him his name, the assassin, one thing that bothers me about his plan is he does an American accent when he's killing the milkman, and he puts on a British accent when he's talking to the guy at the door. I can understand the need to put on an accent, but why do both? It's like, there's no point.
It's because he was secretly trying to be put across as versatile so he could get more roles in Hollywood.
He was trying to... they wanted to get Michael Richards. They'd seen him in Whoops Apocalypse.
Yes.
And they wanted him for this part.
You can say what you like about him, he does a ruddy good Lenny Henry.
He would have been... I'd have watched Michael Richards in this. He would have been good.
We gotta go.
And, yeah, I don't understand... It's like, pick an accent. Like maybe just for his own personal amusement. Like he comes when he's blowing it up in a minute. He's just like he's suddenly French.
Yeah.
Oh, oui, oui. Give me the general. Oh, bonsoir.
Sacre bleu, come here. Buff. Somebody else walks in. He turns to German. Ah, danke. Yeah.
Well, he is German, so that would just be his normal accent.
Oh my god, it was the parrot.
Second appearance of a parrot in the Bond films. I'm keeping track of all the parrot appearances. I've got a book. I've got a book, Dan.
That was another one as well that was a bit underwhelming. There's no, special villain in this.
The villains are a little bit of a... I'll agree, they're a bit generic. And their evil plan, we're jumping ahead of here, bar. Their evil plan just amounts to drug smuggling, which is just... They did that in Live and Let Die, and it wasn't good then.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go for the other plot where they're selling, arms to people, it's just basically Octopussy, but...
I do like this whole sequence though, even though it's interesting because Bond's not in it, which is rare for action sequences in this series, but it's pretty good.
This is a bit of an obscure one. I don't know whether you'd be able to answer it, but was the majority of the promotional material based around who is going to be Bond? Because I could see them putting a nice little trailer together of all these non-Bond fight scenes.
They always the new Bond is like a big news thing, isn't it? Whenever that happens, it's always like front page. So no, everyone would have known it was Tim Dalton doing it. What was I going to say? Yeah, so it's what's weird is that the villain's plan is actually seems quite intriguing at first. The whole smirk to spion and death to spies, which by the way was a real thing from World War II, I believe. The Russians had a secret operation called Smirk Spionum. The aim being mainly to kill Nazi spies and German spies. Obviously wasn't in effect at this time. Well, or was it? No, it wasn't.
Emergency. We are out of foie gras.
Bond has drunk all the Bollinger again. That alky bastard.
That explosion just happens as part of the routine emergency plan because they've run out of Bollinger, not because anybody did it.
Oh dear.
The building cannot be allowed to stand.
It's like the building just runs on Bollinger alone. That's the oil that fuels it.
A warning light came on at the front entrance, just a bottle.
This sequence would have been good if they just intercut it with now and then, because they've shown Bonds driving off. Like, just intercut it with him drinking Bollinger in the car. My life is fantastic. This is brilliant.
It cuts to
I love being a spy.
It cuts to somebody at the gate's perspective, and he's just like, just driving the Jeep off the road. And
what do you want? What do you want today, James? You don't understand. You don't understand.
You ever been to space?
Yes.
It's fucking big, mate.
Everyone thinks I'm so cool. Everyone thinks I'm so cool.
Gotta be international spy man.
Why can't I be more like Saunders? Why can't I be boring like him?
I just want a desk job, some light paperwork. This never.
Just a tap money penny on the arse.
This never happened to the other fellow.
Hang out with Q and his exploding CD player.
Exploding arse.
Exploding arse?
Yeah. Simple plan, Bon.
Something we're making for the Americans. It's called an exploding arse.
Simply attach it to your real arse, sit down, and...
It's not the most creative name in the world. It's a working title.
It also works as a fax machine. Milk, cocaine, peppers for the weekend.
Apparently Red Cross got very upset at their logo being used in that scene. And later on, of course, when all the heroin has the Red Cross thing on it.
Yeah. You don't want the Red Cross associated with heroin, do you?
I mean, you could just say to him, it's like, it's just fictional. We're not actually saying that the Red Cross smuggles heroin.
I think all those spies being killed was a great idea. Now I've got to go and see Margaret Thatcher.
Well, this was at 1987, so this was when the Thatcher era was at its coldest and bleakest. And at their most cruel, I think.
What was that, Everyone's dead. No survivors. Oh, excellent news.
Jolly good.
Everyone died. Amazing. Fantastic. Dennis, did you hear? No survivors. Fantastic news. Very good. Ow! You just bit me.
I think it's because your Thatcher impression was too good.
The cat's actually a secret Tory, who knew?
No, I think it's because the cat thought you were Thatcher.
And
was attacking you because of that.
Yeah.
Very well done, Zelda. Oh my god, look at the way she's looking at you.
It's alright, maybe if I work through
She's ready to pounce.
Maybe if I work through my other prime ministers, it'll work. I could try my Tony Blair. Big smile. Nope, she didn't like that.
Can you do Gordon Brown?
I can try Gordon Brown, who's a very quiet, sad, somber man. She's not angry anymore.
Can you do Edward Heath?
No, unfortunately.
Zelda?
I could do an impression of what I think Edward Heath would sound like.
I'm watching Living Daylights.
Oh,
fantastic. Dalton, good bunch of lads.
I was going to go for, well, of course, as you can see, we are watching the Living Daylights, the James Bond film. Very.
Was that Winston Churchill?
No, that was my attempt at what Edward Heath might have sounded like.
Do Winston Churchill.
It was a bloody good film starring Jimmy James Jimbo Bond. Very good. And we will never surrender.
You're listening to the Impressions podcast.
Mainly
Prime Ministers.
Yes.
Of the last 20 years or so.
Yes. It's a shame how many of them are Conservative, but here we are. Simple, Bond. You take this Philips license device.
Cha-ching. Nice little close-up of the Philips there.
But tell me, Q.
I do enjoy their video games. I particularly like their Zelda one.
Yes, the CDI is a great console.
Oh boy, I'm so hungry I could eat an Octorok.
But tell me, Q, I'm incredibly posh. Have you got anything to drink around here? Why, yes, Bond. Coca-Cola, the finest drink approved by the Americans.
The choice of a new generation. Diet Coke. Diet Coke, get that shit out of my face.
I may be 106 years old, Bond, but I know good Coke when I see it. It's a tasty. Timothy Dalton turns to camera and goes, well, this adventure's very exciting, but right about now I'd fancy a pot noodle.
To blow up the room, Bond, you have to sing the entirety of side 1 of The Queen is Dead by the Smiths.
If you miss one note...
He's just there, like, later on in the film, surrounded. You'll never get out of this one, Bond.
Take this me back to dear old Blighty.
Hemmed in like a dove between arches.
What are you doing?
Oh, you were doing the sample at the start. Oh, and that person is now dead.
Never to be seen again. Body was not recovered.
It's going to be like that It's Always Sunny scene with Frank coming out of the settee. Hello, Johnson. Where have you been?
Completely bald. Just been shaved.
My arse has been within 2 feet of you. Mad that, isn't
it? It's bizarre, isn't it? My arse has been closer to your head than your wife's arse.
I would not want to get a job at Q Branch. It's fucking dangerous.
Well, I mean, right. Let's sum this up. Plus sides, you get to travel the world, raid ancient tombs, and repurpose ancient monuments to your own specifications. Downside, you might get blown up every day.
Or trapped in a settee.
Or blown up by a comedy boombox that's playing Aha.
This is, of course, fit quickly, Ben, think of something. String quartet in DF.
By the B-52s.
Yes. B-52. Fred Schneider did a lot of work on this film.
He did. For some reason it cuts to George Martin. We were very keen to get Fred Schneider from the B-52s involved in the process from the top.
When we were recording Private Idaho, tremendous fun.
I simply said
B-52s will come in, say, Kate Pearson would be there, wreathed in smiles.
I thought the verses were very good, but the transition to the chorus was rather disappointing. So I said to Fred, why don't you say down, down a few times after Rock Lobster? And you know what? I think he did a really good job.
Here we see Bond on the Met in Manchester.
Yeah.
Except it's a little cleaner than
I was going to say there needs to be a couple more spice heads, really. There
needs to be a few more people staring at you with gigantic eyes.
Yes.
Staring at your pockets.
Just going, we got 10p, mate. We got 10p. Oh, mate. I don't know why people ask for 10p now. There's no money. We're in COVID. Physical cash is eliminated.
I think the system of economy and money still exists in the world, Dan.
I mean,
it's not been eradicated.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, if they walked around with a card reader, I'd probably help them a bit more.
some guy in a hoodie and some crackhead comes up to you. Got 40p, mate. He gets out. Right, I just need to declare that. Get the VAT on that.
I'll just sync it to my phone. Hang on, Bluetooth's messing up.
One moment, mate. I've not invoiced you.
Right, just tap your card against that.
You've got to be very careful these days, mate. You have the Inland Revenue after you.
Keep that. Keep that. You can claim it back.
Do you want me to break the law?
I'm only trying to catch a bus, mate.
Got to declare it.
Inland Revenue knocking on your door. Yes, you recently paid a Mr. A. Crackhead £1.20.
You recently paid a guy who calls himself a Spice Girl. I don't think that means he's a fan of Wannabe.
No. He just cuts to his cracker. Mama.
The cat's about to stab me again. At least I know now, don't do a Margaret Thatcher voice when the cat's on you.
Now, you see that old man there sweeping?
Yeah.
He had a wife and child.
Oh, you know what? He just reminded me of something. You were talking before about them having the Bond music in diegetically.
Yes.
Well, in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, there's a cleaner who whistles Goldfinger.
Ah.
So there you go. That's one example.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll have that.
I'll have that.
I'll have that. That works for me.
Yeah.
Just as I suspected. A gun.
What the fuck is this? I've never... What do you do? Oh, you must drink out of it.
Meeting you for a view. Yeah.
It's got a hole in it. That means I can pour Bollinger in it. Bond, you're a flipping genius.
He pulls it out. How do I play this? Where's the bow?
Where do you plug it in?
The electric cello.
There is such a thing as an electric cello.
There is.
Guy in Pulp played that.
I'm also going to take this opportunity to say that I am enjoying a delicious 7-Up Free with cherry today as part of the gourmet dining experience.
And I'm going to eat the cat if it keeps trying to hurt me.
It's love scratchings, Ben. And Ben is trying to quench his thirst with Fanta. And that's all there is to it. We're going to order a takeaway in between films today. Life will be good.
I suppose I'd rather hear you talk about food than hear you talk about knobbing crazy old women.
Well, it helps to pass the time.
You're English. Who are you? He's actually Welsh.
Yeah, that's quite offensive.
Yeah. Tim Dalton is Welsh. There's a bit in. I'll save it for the next film where you hear his accent slip.
Oh,
it's quite funny.
He doesn't turn into Tom Jones at one point, does he? Or something?
Oh yeah, he's talking to Em at one point. It's like, we've got to stop Sanchez from. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. And then we go to Mexico. And Bond, what the fuck was that?
Q bursts into the door, ba-da-da-da-da-da, and then slams the door. Like a Muppet sketch.
Daughter, fucking daughter! Stop it, you fucking knobhead! What's the matter with you? You absolute cunt cat.
Yeah. Part of me thinks she does it so that she knows she isn't going to fall off. Part of me thinks
it's a power play. That's all it is.
Yeah.
She's just asserting dominance.
Look at me. I'm better than you.
She's not done much before or since, I believe.
No.
Mariam Diabo, if I'm saying... I'm probably horribly mispronouncing it. I do apologise, Mariam, if you are listening, which I know you are.
Mariam, give us a like and subscribe.
How could you not? Come on, we're great.
Yeah, look at us. We've been talking about Thatcher for like 20 minutes. It's great. No, Rill.
My hometown.
Have you ever eaten chips on the seafront? My friend caught a shark there once.
Do you ever want to know what depression actually looks like in physical form? Like in actual physical, I could touch it with my hands form?
We're going to Rill.
Yeah, exactly.
Circa 1987. Ooh.
Luckily, he stashed Cara in the cello case.
That's good. Good for her.
She's just there.
occasionally hits the cobbles on the road.
Sorry, love.
Yeah, Rill was pretty desolate in the 80s and 90s. For anybody who wasn't
Precious
there,
carbonated drink.
For anyone who wasn't there, it was the kind of place where you could see the dirt in the air.
I've been to Rill. I went fishing. I told the story before about fishing in Rill. On catching, the guy who almost caught the shark. It was a baby shark. Do. Oh, they've done the old jump on the tram trick. That's what it's called, Dan.
You know the back projection's getting better.
But it's still not good.
No, it's still shit, but it's better than the last film, which I think they played it upside down at one point.
They played it in photo negative.
Yes.
And at one point it just became clips from Zulu starring Michael Caine.
The background at one point when he was driving the Aston Martin was just space.
Do they do see? Oh, that's a joke in Airplane, isn't it? Where the front projection keeps changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I just like there's this bit where it's like, no, we have to go get my cello. I'm just thinking like they spend like half an hour cramming it in the car. They're like, wait, I have to get my other instruments. She comes up with like a guitar. Wait, hang on. She comes up with a full drum kit.
Wait, one more second. She comes down. She's got one of those one-man band kits where the drums on the back, the cymbals are on the top. And as she's walking, she's going.
Don't worry, Bond. They'll never find us. We operate in top secrecy.
She comes in with a trumpet. Oh wow!
Apparently,
Phillips really did go all in on Dick in this movie, didn't they?
Cha-ching. Apparently, Bond likes light jazz, which is nice to know.
Well, it's better than that Ruffians, the Beatles.
I think it's meant to be like he was trying to butter her up by saying like, "Oh, your playing is so exquisite. I love listening to it," and then he's listening to like George, Miles Davis or whatever. I like to picture like in this sequence coming up with the police, like Carl going, "Oh my God, Bond! They found us. They're after us. Bond, what are you? Bond, you keep me running round and round. Well, that's all right with me. Up and down, I'm up the wall, I'm up the Bond, up the bloody tree." You sums me up, really. Up the bloody tree. He really, really sums me up.
It's like he's in the room.
Ah!
You know what would have improved this scene?
Lasers?
Russian J.W. Pepper.
Every time police turn up in Bond films, which they do often,
Yes.
Dan will feel the need to bring up, gee, wouldn't it be good if J.W. Pepper was in it instead?
He's still in that Taiwanese jail at this point, you know. This is all one continuity.
He's still in an unmarked cell.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the film Merry Christmas, Mr. Pepper?
Well, boy, there's Bond. He's got a French girl.
Got them road barricades out. Gotta keep that. Ah, she wants to hold your hand. She wants to bite your hand.
I've still not forgiven you for trying to kill me earlier, Kat.
She bit me.
Don't try and be all sweetness now. I'm watching Tim Dalton fire missiles out of a car. These missiles brought to you by Philips.
Excellent. I want to buy all Philips-based products.
This explosion brought to you by Philips.
The weirdest part was he didn't even know there were missiles on the car.
You was just trying to turn the AC on. Yeah. He was trying to change the radio.
Nice
Get a bit
car.
of blancmange back on.
Oh, you keep me running round. He's only got the opening bit of that. It's not got the rest of the song. It just loops.
He's one of those dads who doesn't know the rest. Living on the ceiling. Know that bit. No more room down here.
It's a nice car as well in this Bond film.
It's Aston Martin again.
Yeah.
It's the I know cars, me. It was basically whatever model was out in the 87. It's that.
Ah, excellent.
V86, I think I want to say.
I know less about car models than you and I drive.
I know as much about cars as I know about women.
Q taking notes there. It's brilliant. It's an Aston Martin disguised as a shed.
But does it blow up though? Where's the love?
It's Philips have bought the rights, you see, to it.
The new Philips Explodo shed.
Only $9.99.
We fucking hate sheds here.
You know what this scene would have been improved with if they'd have taken the Bond theme off and put California Girls by the Beach Boys?
It was just Bond fucking about with the radio again.
East Coast Girls.
Oh, get this shit off.
This did happen to the other fellow. It could have worked. It could have worked. They didn't do it.
I learned, where did you learn that, Bond? MI6 special training? Oxford? No, Bugs Bunny cartoons.
Have you ever heard of Tex Avery? When we get back to Blighty, I'm going to have to show you a lot of my favourite show reels. And by that I don't mean my porn collection. And by that I mean the secret cameras in my bedroom.
And when I say secret, they're not secret at all. They're directly above the light installation.
But they are very.
There's a guy with a microphone there and everything doing the sound. a boom guy.
What do you mean a guy? It's Desmond Llewellyn.
Holding the boom mic.
After the events of View to a Kill, he developed a real taste for voyeurism. What's that? You want me to film? Oh, brilliant. I'll bring a thermos and everything.
We'll have to do that one again. The boom was in shot. That wasn't the boom.
Oh, drat.
This looks fun.
A scene that would later be used in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes, same footage and everything.
Mm.
Good thing I remembered to bring that drum kit. That's us throwing the cymbals at them.
They're both running through the snow, but she's still got the one-man band attached. And you see, if this was Roger Moore, he'd have stolen some of the skis and would have done a backflip off some of the snow here.
Well, if it was Roger Moore's stuntman, who had more screen time in those films than he did.
And more hair.
And more hair. I'm pretty sure that cello would be close to fucked.
Well, yeah, considering it's a priceless artifact and he's using it as a fucking steering device.
I hate all culture.
Again, you cut back like two...
I like that shot of them rocking back and forth. Someone make a gif of that, please.
Yes. You cut back like 2 films and the entire plot of the film was we've got to find out who is selling fake eggs. Sorry, you've just decreased the value by £500,000.
Bond, you've effectively ruined my life.
My career is over. Soz, mate.
Ask, don't care.
I've had my fun and that's all that matters.
We must say that once a film.
This joke is so rubbish.
Oh. I like to think he just looks at her as if to say, mate.
He just purposely...
No need.
He just purposely smashes it after she says that. Just a cello. She looks at her.
By the way, your music's shit.
Yes. I never liked classical music. I'm into the grunge
Classical
scene.
music's for... That was me doing a Bond character thing, by the way. That was not me doing
the homophobic views of Ben are entirely of Ben's own volition, and I very strongly disapprove. Oh, look, it's John Rhys Pork Pie.
Is that his name now?
Yes.
Yes, it's John Rhys Davis. Not John Rice Davis. John Rhys Davis.
John Rice Pork Pie. Rice Pork Pie.
When Red Letter Media did their video on Robot in the Family, they spend the whole time calling him John Rice Davis.
Yes.
Which is wrong!
No. His name is Rhys, and he's a cunt.
Is he?
Yes.
Why is he a cunt?
Right, I can't remember why, but
Do you have some dirt you can
I do remember he did set my cuntometer off at one point. Hang on, let me have a look at him. What did he do?
You're going to say he's like an anti-vaxxer person. You're saying a lot of defamatory things, Dan.
Let's have a
you,
look
not
at
me.
This. He did something that I was like...
Well, he did save Middle Earth from Sauron and the orcs, so I guess we've got that to thank him for.
It was a few years ago. Was it on Question Time? He said something on Question Time.
Why was John Rhys Davis on Question Time?
It's a good question. Time.
Yeah, hey.
Oh, where was he? What did he say?
While you're looking up dirt, that's probably...
Yes, I've got it here.
Joe Don Baker's in this scene, everyone. You must have watched in your library of crap. You must have seen stuff with him in.
Oh, he was pro-Trump.
Ah.
And he infamously, on an episode of Question Time, shouted down a woman by going, "Oh, woman."
I imagine... So John Rhys Davis was the guy who stormed the Capitol.
Yes.
He was the guy in the bear suit.
It was him and Joe Rogan.
As long as he was dressed up as Gimli, then that's...
Yes. What do we do next, John Rice? We drop all the PCP, Joe. Surprisingly Welsh film, given that there's,
Yeah.
The number of Welsh actors in the Bond films was 0, and now it's like a 200% increase.
He's doing pretty much the same voice he does in Indiana Jones, I think.
And Robot in the Family.
Yeah.
It's his slightly foreign-sounding, not quite proper Russian voice. That cat is in heaven, by the way. A little face.
I feel like J.W. Pepper could have played him.
Yes. That would have been a nice reveal. He gets released from his Taiwanese jail, and the first thing he does is join the military from the police.
Become an arms dealer.
Yeah.
And live in a house with model soldiers and statues of Hitler.
I just wanted an exciting lifestyle like that super secret spy agent. But I'm really shit at it.
I'm going to give you some exposition now. Exposition for the film.
This...
About your life. I love that in films, when it's like, as you already know, you went to West Point, blah, 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 blah.
As if I have to remind you, Ben, that you were born in Manchester and grew up and having a fulfilling life.
That's not true.
Nah. But
he's not in. He doesn't actually get a lot of screen time, and he's meant to be the main villain, which is weird.
Well, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about in this film that I kind of dislike. It just feels like there's a lot of filler. There's a lot of sort of having to info dump large swathes of narrative.
Yeah.
So that they can get to the good bits, like that bit where they were sledding on a cello. And
yeah. Just 2 hours of them sledding on a cello
Yeah.
with no devoid of context.
We have all the time
Yeah, that's the vibe.
in the world.
That's defo the vibe they're going for.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen The Third Man?
No, I haven't. Oh, Orson Welles.
Yeah.
I've got it. I haven't watched it.
A lot of this Vienna stuff owes a lot to that, I think.
Ah.
They're definitely going for a classier vibe compared to the previous couple of outings.
Hard cut to Nazi holding dynamite in a blimp.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the phrase hard cut to monocle Nazi
Yes.
with a stick of literal dynamite.
I think that any film could be 100% improved with a hard cut to a Nazi with a monocle holding dynamite. Right, okay, so is this the bit of the film where he gets on a gondola and the gondola turns into a hovercraft and then a pigeon does double take and a man looks at his wine bottle and swears off it?
Despite being in Vienna, which does not have any gondolas, yes. He gets on a gondola.
Excellent.
Fuck it.
The last film wouldn't have given a shit, so this one...
That's rubbish. I can do that. It's just spinning round.
Oh, yeah.
that quote on the video, Ben Bostock, 2022. That waltzing is just spinning round. I can do that, mate.
I know for a fact that half of those women are on casters.
It's just easy. It's just spinning round and holding someone's hand.
Yeah, how difficult can it be?
Let's do it now.
Yeah.
Come on, Dan.
Oh, well, Ben, I didn't realise you'd grabbed my buttocks that firmly on the first time.
We are now going to stand in the living room with your girlfriend's flat and waltz to no music.
Didn't that happen at the end of Sarlo?
Yes.
And the cat shall watch. Not tonight, Hans, and please do take the lube out of the room.
Now this is interesting. Roger Moore never said that. He never said I'll have a martini shaken not stirred because they were making a deliberate point to not copy Sean. So they alluded to it, like in Roger Moore's films. What you probably notice is that the barman will say it. So like, here you go, as you ordered, one martini shaken not stirred. But this is the first time since like Diamonds Are Forever where they've had Bond say it. Aren't you glad I'm here to relay this fascinating fucking information?
I think the closest they ever got to doing the vodka martini line with Roger was, I think I seem to recall a scene in, I think it was...
Spy Who Loved Me has a bit where the bartender says it to him.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought it was Spy Who Loved Me. He goes up to the bar and asks for a martini, but he doesn't go in, he doesn't say vodka martini shaken not stirred, he just goes, martini please.
The barman does the shaken not stirred line.
Was that before or after the line where he says that they'll have enough money to have lots of curry?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the horribly racist parts of that film, Ben?
Well, Bond is casually racist. I think that's been established by now.
Not now, Ben. Man talk.
According to IMDb, this is the final appearance of a bevy of women in a scene in a Bond film. I'm so glad IMDb exists.
Disappointed.
To tell us stuff like that.
If you can't see it, but on the other side of the pool, they actually have Prefab Sprout filming the Hot Dog Jumping Frog Albuquerque music video.
That lobster's still
King
alive.
of Rock and Roll, that's what it's called.
I think he just like shouted the lobster to death.
Yes.
You get the fucking pan at once. Go, ba, 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 ba.
It just does this. It's just like normal, and then it just goes, just flips over dead.
I would have liked to maybe, because we know now that Koskov's the baddie. I would have liked him to have maybe played it up like more and more, like the will is he not a baddie? You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's not the best baddie.
Speaking of baddies,
she'll never hurt you intentionally.
She's going for the microphone.
No. You get away from that microphone, you nasty pasty.
What's this, Zelda? Is it tea?
She just eats the mic and the rest of the recording is just...
This is, of course, The Marriage of Figaro by Mozart. I knew that. I didn't have to read the subtitles. I am a man of culture.
Fucking love Mozart.
I fucking love Mozart.
Yeah.
Mozart is the fucking bomb, yo.
Yeah.
My favourite composer is I like what's he called? The one who does the music.
Oh, Ken.
Picasso.
Yes.
Pablo Picasso.
Yeah.
I especially like his 1981 novelty hit.
Kez. 1981 novelty hit. Disco Duck.
That's my favourite era of Mozart. I mean, I like the classical stuff. Don't get me wrong, but my favourite thing he's done is his 1979 novelty hit single, which reached number 3 on the charts this week. Cheeky chappies.
See, I personally prefer his collaborative works with Rick Dees and his cast of idiots.
That was Beethoven, I think, not Mozart.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
You see, my favourite composer was Stradivarius.
Bond's thinking, this is a lot of effort to knob someone.
I'd have knobbed
sit through boring ass fucking concert.
I'd have knobbed 4 people in the last film by now.
Go to the boring ass fucking fair.
I just cannot be arsed, mate.
Can't be arsed today.
She shot blanks, I'm shooting blanks, mate. Vasectomy, mate. Not doing that again, mate.
What's up, Saunders? You had a nice day, eh? You did a nice... got on the bus, did you? And got to work, did you? Yeah, exciting.
Enjoy a little sandwich in the break room.
Yeah, little ham and cheese butty.
In the break room. I skied on a Stradivarius. I shot a missile at a Russian. What did you do today? Probably just filed your accounts.
I fired a missile at a truck. Brought to you by Phillips.
My car turned into a shed today. What did you do? Probably went to see the wife. How is the wife? Dead. Okay, fair enough.
Well, now you've just made it awkward, Saunders.
I'm going to go and bang this woman and try and forget about your dead wife. Hello?
I don't think the cat has realised that when you put claws on jumpers for a period of longer than about 3 minutes, they get stuck.
Yes.
In place. I'm basically wearing Velcro to her.
You are, effectively. That's why I'm in my T-shirt.
You dressed to impress.
Oh no, we've been pulled into...
I refuse to believe that Bond would be like, on a roller coaster, would be like, whoa, this is crazy, eh? I mean, he's fucking jumped off mountains.
Big question, when do the gypsies turn up and chase them to the beach?
In the opening sequence of this film, he jumped out of a plane.
When does Cry No More start playing?
That's a nice little gag where he's doing at the shooting gallery and the guy refuses him anymore.
Take one boy, take one girl, and a little love and shake. This is basically...
That guy, he has more presence than any of the villains in this film.
Yes, I want him...
That skeleton man.
Can he be the new villain?
Just a skeleton monster.
Just a skeleton monster.
Look at him, he's great.
Okay. New Bond film idea coming 2025. Bond versus the devil.
I'd watch that.
We have Bond fighting literal Satan.
Well, I mean, it'll probably be better than the time they had Arnie fighting Satan in the 1999 smash hit End of Days.
Yeah. To be or not to be. Not to be.
That's Last Action Hero.
It's about the same tone, though.
No, because Last Action Hero is trying to be funny. End of Days thinks it's a very serious film. We should watch that.
We should do that.
It's shit.
Yeah. My audience will love it. I also love that they...
This death brought to you by Carlsberg.
The most refreshing lager in the world.
At least they didn't... I know that Carlsberg would have obviously paid for that little cha-ching. At least they didn't go as far as to have Bond drink it.
It's just that he's like... just very stern face.
What do you do with this? Well, you drink it, Bond. You're meant to drink it? I've been using it to clean my sink.
He starts bringing it close to his mouth. His hands start shaking. He starts sweating profusely.
He can't drink lager that common folk drink.
Does New Bond drink lager?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Fuck off.
Drinks Heineken.
Oh, for fuck. It's not Heineken.
Yeah, fucking Heineken.
Pabst Blue Ribbon, man.
At least Carlsberg has something resembling a taste. Not a very nice one, but...
Everybody knows that if Bond drank a lager, it would be Kronenberg.
Why?
1669, it's like £5 a pint. Or £8 a pint if you live in London.
It's got Carlsberg in those mugs of tea there.
Everything's Carlsberg now, mate. Ferris wheel's Carlsberg, mate. Man with hat is Carlsberg, mate. I bet he drinks Carl in Black Label.
This is actually the same fair where they shot Bloody New Year.
You just stole my gag.
Hey, didn't this come out the same year? This is
It did, 1987. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's all connected.
Yeah. I've just been like playing that gag for like 5 minutes, and then you just cruised in 5 minutes after I tried desperately to get it to sync and went, "Hey, this is like bloody New Year."
See, what I do is I take people's ideas and just do them first, but not as good. That's how I roll.
What you do is you let people say their jokes, and then you do their jokes again. But this time, because you said them, it's
there's
better.
The pretenders.
Take one boy, take one girl.
So Necros is apparently like Baby Driver, but German.
So for the rest of the film, is Bond going to be chased by angry travellers with like chains, who very slowly get beaten up by a porridge oat ghost?
I mean, anything's better than the thrilling excitement that is the funfair sequence.
You know, Norman J. Warren died last year, and I was quite upset about it.
Why did he die?
He was old age. He was
Why?
like in his 80s.
But why though?
He gave
He's
up.
got a blue passport. Bond supports Brexit.
The new blue passport. Yeah, I was gutted because spoilers here to people who've made it nearly an hour and 12 minutes into this commentary.
This malfunction brought to you by Carlsberg.
How did he make the door like killer?
He's got magic fucking door changing abilities. That's how it works. We even get a little.
Oh, it was the balloon.
It's like this is like what Stephen King saw before he wrote It. Came up with the idea to have scary balloons in things.
The cat is now the highest thing in the room.
Yeah, you're telling me, man.
Hey, man, he's just trying to do his thing. Leave him alone. No. So...
There's the little to no repercussions there. I mean, he did just pull a gun on a child.
I think he should have just hopped the fence and shot.
Well, you may not have killed the Flanders, but...
It then hard cuts back to the Home Office and Tory cunts there going, I think Bond was brilliant for doing that. A really top-class
He's
job.
actually on his side for once.
That child had a bomb. Did he? No, but he might have. So spoilers on what we were planning on doing before this horrible virus ravaged the land and took all of my fun, joy and happiness for the last 2 years. Originally, me and Ben were going to go to Fright Fest at some point and do a live from Fright Fest sort of style podcast where we reviewed the films that were screened there on a day-by-day basis and kind of had a bit of a boozy chat about them. And it would have been nice.
Yeah, I remember now. We talked about this.
Yeah, and it was all like ready to go for the year 2020, and then the pandemic happened and shut it all down. One of the things is Kim Newman and Norman J. Warren were like regulars there every year, and that year was the last year they attended Fright Fest, and then Norman J. Warren died. So I could have had a chance, we could have had a chance, Ben, to go up to the man who made Bloody New Year.
What would you have said to him?
I'd have gone, you made Bloody New Year. And he would have gone, yes, I did.
That's a true fact.
And you would have gone, yes, I did. And then I would have gone, sort of paused awkwardly, and then just gone, recipe for that's a recipe for... And you would have gone,
Don't walk away. Recipe
for... Come back.
Come back now.
Ben, sedate him! And then we would have done the kidnapper sketch from Doctor Who.
That's under the assumption that I'm as obsessed with crap film directors as you are.
Ben, we have a visitor. His titles include Inseminoid, Prey, Satan's Slave, Bloody New Year. It's not the lead singer of Cry No More, is it? No!
Embassies, you gotta watch out for those.
Oh, it's the Grand Café de Café.
What do they serve there?
I don't know, it translates to the Big Café, the Café.
Yeah. Hotel in France.
Hotel de France.
But we're not in France. Why is it lying to me?
Oh, I don't look like a pirate. That's not his wife.
There's a man kissing another woman, and it's not me. I'm sorry, I just don't understand.
I think I'm doing James Bond wrong. I've been in this film now for an hour and a half, and so far I've only necked with one woman. It was on a Ferris wheel, and then a man died.
He bangs two women.
He doesn't bang them.
So what do you think then happens at the beginning with the lady on the boat?
He had a nice glass of wine, talked about the career of Norman J. Warren.
I think we're meant to infer that he has sex with that lady on the boat.
Well, we don't see it. And
Yeah, but in every film made from like 1930 to like 1990, whenever there was a sex scene, the camera would pan away. So do you just assume that nobody has sex in films in that era?
I like to think that in this instance, the opening title sequence was what happened next. A gun shot the laser of 007 out of a barrel, and then Bond ran off.
He took some really dodgy acid.
He did.
And he kept seeing people's names appear on the screen.
Who
Who the fuck is John Glenn?
is John Rice Davis?
Clubby Broccoli. Oh, I'm hungry now.
Does he still use the Walter PPK in this?
Yeah.
Does New Bond use a Walter PPK?
I think so.
Mm.
Well, I don't know if it's a PPK, but he uses... Oh, no, I think in the... I know about as much about guns as I know about cars, as I know about women, as I know about Norman J. Warren. But I think it's a P99 in the Pierce Brosnan era. Mm. And these the classic era uses the PPK.
New Bond just uses like a shovel.
he just stares at people and they die.
New Bond is distinctly more down market than Old Bond. I like Old Bond. Old Bond drinks Bollinger. New Bond drinks Heineken and kills people with rocks. Old Bond would have been like, I see you collect antiques. This is a 1988 Monet, a perfect example of fine art. New Bond is like, have you got Spice Girls CD? I love Spice Girls, fucking great, mate.
That is oh my god, it's like Daniel Craig was in the room. What an uncanny impression. Oh, you pressed the blinking watch.
I smoke tabs. Yeah. Oh.
That's Bond's normal technique, to be honest.
Technically, that was the closest to banging a girl in this film that
There's
Bond
a weird...
does.
I always noticed this. When it has the shot of the guy coming in and going, but a woman with her boobies out.
Whoa.
I've literally never seen those.
No.
But if you look, they freeze frame.
Oh.
And it looks really, really odd and stilted.
Maybe they maybe it was like the only take they had, but it was a bad take.
Yeah.
So they just kind of had to.
That's likely it. Or maybe he didn't hold the face long enough.
Maybe he didn't go. Maybe he went too far. Maybe like if the take continues, he was like. Humana. Pulls out a comedy mallet. He just pulls his shirt clean off and goes whoop, 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 and jumps through the window.
So the take went on for another 25 minutes.
It took 3 days to recapture him.
We had to cut it for reasons of time and brevity and sanity.
And taste. The rest of the film was just the Bond crew with comedy-sized hunter's nets trying to catch him again.
This is just as of course, as the Soviet Union was beginning to unravel and tear itself apart.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How come...
In fact, I think this is the last one to really... Well, this is the second to last Bond film made during the Cold War, obviously. But it's the last Bond film that really sort of involves itself in stuff like Soviet intrigue and stuff like that.
I was going to say, I can never pronounce his last name, but how... They got the perfect opportunity.
Gorbachev.
They're literally in Russia to get General What's-His-Face from the last 4 films in. Is it Golgov?
He is in this. He turns up at the end.
Does he?
Yes.
Oh.
You did watch this film, right?
I did watch this film.
He turns up at the end.
I remember this film.
When they have the cheesy, like, all our mates are here ending.
That's completely blank from my memory. I did the pre-watch for this, and the main takeaway was Bond...
Maybe you were just sat there, maybe your mind was elsewhere, you were sat there thinking, I might go back to that old woman. I'll admit, I'm curious, all right? I'm curious. There's a whole sequence that was cut here. You can see it on this Blu-ray, where Bond was going to, in the process of escaping from these guards, he was going to jump on a carpet that was being like held up as like washing on one of the lines.
Oh, yeah.
And he was going to jump on it and like fly down the lines on the carpet.
Oh.
Basically, he was like a flying carpet.
Oh, blimey. I thought you were going to say he fell into that section of pool with all of the ladies in bikinis, and then the rest of the film was just an orgy scene.
And all the stuff in Afghanistan was added in post.
Yes.
We never went to Afghanistan. We actually shot that in Surrey, Milton Keynes.
Yeah, it was actually filmed on some scrubland in Manchester.
We shot it on where they shot all the quarry stuff in Doctor Who.
Using a mixture of 8 and 16mm film.
We're getting to because of obviously now as we're getting more into recent cinema, we start to actually get stuff on this Blu-rays like deleted scenes and stuff.
Ooh, that's good.
It's obviously the previous films, which is true of basically every film from the 60s and 70s and before. You're not going to get a lot of deleted stuff because they just didn't keep stuff.
No.
But yeah, you get to see some more of that kind of thing moving forward.
Well, that's a relief. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing the sort of extended. You'd be surprised. I'm surprised they didn't do extended cuts. If they've got the deleted scenes on hand and they've got an ultimate Bond collection.
Yeah, but this film only has one major deleted thing: that carpet, that stupid carpet thing. Putting it in wouldn't really
warrant a full.
It wouldn't be a different experience than watching the theatrical cut of The Living Daylights, A.K.A. the only cut.
Oh no, I meant like with later films though, for example, where like there's maybe 5 minutes of deleted scenes that could be put back in. Or...
I don't see the point. Not unless it was going to be like a sort of Wicker Man type thing, or Devil's thing, or Exorcist, where you're putting in new scenes and it's a dramatic change.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was going to say, if Arrow Video can make 4 cuts of the film Phantom of the Mall.
I don't think any of the Bond films have had quote unquote extended versions. They're all pretty much as they are. And there's Felix. He's regenerated again.
Oh, brilliant! He's been played by a Lego man.
Probably the least memorable Felix, up there with whoever played him in Thunderball.
Gonna be honest, Ben. I've watched this film 3 times. Didn't know it was Felix.
Well, the first thing he says is Felix Leiter. It's you, that character from the other films.
I think I was drinking Buckfast when I watched this film.
We've not seen Felix since Live and Let Die.
It's good to have him back.
Yeah.
I mean, he's completely unmemorable.
I'm sure he'll be perfectly fine moving on. Hey, he's got Jim Beam. I was drinking that last night.
Oh, brilliant.
This film knows me. It knows me.
What are you doing? Oh. Hang on. There we go. She wants to have a little bit of toy time. Fair enough.
This is a hammy thing he does now.
Yeah.
When he's like, I told you. And then he even does a little fucking dance at one point. He's doing a little, like, happy dance.
He's going full on Three Stooges.
I think it's now when we cut back to him. He's doing like a little, like, da, 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 da. Oh yeah, he killed the man. Ba-da-ba-boo.
This was very cocaine fueled. That's all I'm gonna say.
That phone was very cocaine fueled.
It was. How they said there were trace elements of coke found all the way around the House of Commons. 90% of it came from that fucking phone.
My partner is asking what time you'll be transporting me home.
We have to vacate the premises before 11:30, so ideally leaving here for about 11. Otherwise, they'll come to get us.
They will come.
They will.
I do love it when people on here get to enjoy my domestic goings on. Like when we did the Goldfinger one, and I took a fucking phone call.
Yes.
10 minutes in.
Hey, look, if David Lynch does it for Eraserhead, I have no qualms with people doing it in these commentaries.
But yeah, but
that still makes me laugh.
But that wasn't like completely random. That was David Lynch phoning someone who happened to be in Eraserhead, so he could talk about memories of making the film.
To be fair,
he didn't just ring like, "Hello, I would like 1 pepperoni passion, large."
What's the biggest curry you do? No, that's too big.
Oh, I was going to do that. That's too big. Do you do onion bargies? They're sick, mate.
I love them. And a large kebab.
He's ordering a curry, onion bargies, and a kebab.
Yeah,
what a greedy prick.
He's a really thin guy, but he can surprisingly put it away. We had a spot of bother actually recording some commentaries over Christmas. One of the things we tend to do December, January time is me and Laura record our Valentine's Day specials.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just one review. But
Are you talking to me or them?
Both, you and the audience. You are all here.
You're all here with us, our children.
My brothers, my sisters.
Now drink the Kool-Aid. Drink it now. Quickly do it.
We will see you in Edward's paradise.
We will see you on the rocket land.
In the future, which is where you and I will be.
Jesus Christ, Cat. Having a nervous breakdown.
I think she is Timothy Dalton. Bloody hell.
Watching film going, oh my God, they've killed Bond. They give him the druggy drink.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to let you take me alive. Oh, fuck.
Too much Bollinger.
Too much Bollinger. Not enough Bollinger.
Too much or not enough. Both of those produce the same effect.
They lift the back of his shirt up and he's got like a petrol meter just on his back. No, sorry, I was saying we had a spot of bother over Christmas trying to record the Valentine's Day special. We normally do where you pick a film, I pick a film on a yearly sort of basis, and it goes out in February. And it was Laura's turn to choose, and she chose a kids' film called The Elm-Chanted Forest. It's an Italian...
I cannot say I've heard of that.
I want to say it was Italian, but it might have been Polish.
Or French.
Production.
Or German. It was Russian.
It was
so
European.
It's Czechoslovakia, made in Poland, funded by Romanians.
And Russian drug money.
Yeah.
It was European, and it was dubbed into English. And her one request was that Jersey Bondoff.
Jamesy Bonzi. That, and it's just in brackets. That is a real name.
My real name is Jizzy Busy.
Ooh.
Oh my God! They've attached his heart to a bomb. If he gets horny, it'll explode. We're doomed.
When I was a kid, when I first saw this film, I was so confused. I thought they'd taken his heart out and put it in a box. I was like, how, even as a 5-year-old, I was going, how can they do that? That's not possible.
1987, mate. Fuck off. Yeah, so we watched The Elm-Chanted Forest, and Laura's one condition for watching it was she didn't want me to pre-screen it.
Okay.
She wanted me to go in blind, and she was like, I'm so excited for you to watch this film. It's amazing. I haven't seen it since I was a child. It's going to be great. You're going to see it for the first time, and I'm going to have nostalgia pangs. It's going to be amazing and beautiful and brilliant. We got 40 minutes in, and there was a massively racist scene in there. Like, horrifically, like, you couldn't backpedal
Did
from
it just hard cut to, like, Triumph of the Will?
Well, basically, the whole thing is sort of done
Let's go to the magic forest.
The whole thing is animated in a kind of Fleischer-esque style.
Okay.
And 40 minutes in...
Oh, God, alarm bells ringing already.
40 minutes in, they go to an underground kingdom of mushroom people, and all the mushroom people are basically, like, full-on minstrels.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and they do a...
Was that the recording? Just almost going, oh, no.
I think I literally did. I think Laura went, oh, God, and I went, oh, no. This is really bad.
So did you just, like, abandon it, or did you just go through the whole thing?
So basically, they start doing a hip-hop song.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there like,
oh, no.
Oh, God. And Laura's like, I don't remember
We're
this.
just sitting there going, please don't do a rap. Please do not do a rap. Do not do it. Oh, you are doing a rap. I told you not to do the rap. Please don't. Oh my God.
This is really bad.
Was it a very white rap as well?
Yes, it was a very white rap.
We're talking Vanilla Ice doing a collab. Vanilla
with
Ice
Neil Diamond.
Vanilla Ice and the Beastie Boys doing a collab with the Bat from Ferngully.
Yes, basically. Basically that goes on for ages, and then the problem is after that 40-minute mark, they become established characters in the film. And Laura had completely forgotten about this entire thing, so every 10 minutes we cut back to the racist mushroom people singing rap songs, and she's like, "Oh Jesus, stop!" So at the end of the recording, Laura said, "I don't want you to release this." Because it makes me feel really bad that I made you sit through a really racist film. I shan't be watching this ever again.
I don't think it'd be too bad unless there's audio of you or Laura going, this film is great. I think it is fantastic. I'd recommend it to all my friends.
Well, I mean, she did do that Al Jolson routine in the third act.
God.
But yeah, so that's a commentary that you'll never see because
that's a deleted one.
Hard vetoed it.
It's going to be one of the lost ones, like the Withnell and I and the Die Hard one,
and the Die Hard
and the RoboCop one. Maybe in a few years you could do the lost commentaries.
a collection.
I mean, wouldn't make for very funny listening. Mainly make for very depressing listening.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Between us being incredibly tired, incredibly drunk, or muffled out.
Did the Tommy one turn out all right?
Tommy one came out beautifully.
The reason I ask kids is because I remember when we were recording it, I spilt my cider on the microphone. I got very worried that I'd broken Dan's very expensive equipment.
Didn't pick up at all, and instead it just has you going, "Oh, I've spilt cider all over the microphone. It's fucked it, mate."
Well, I thought I wouldn't have minded if I'd spilt a little bit, but I spilt half the can on it. Because I think it was my 6th fucking can that day.
That was a good day. I enjoyed that session. Inebriated.
And I was just you got your hand at an angle.
Yeah.
And you don't realise it's at an angle.
Yeah.
Until you go to sip your drink and there's nothing left of it.
Because you've spilled it all down you. And then you're suddenly very wet.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it came out all right. Yeah, we did 2. We did The Elm Chanted Forest, which you will not be hearing, unfortunately. And then we got in touch with Triv on Boxing Day and we're like, "Are you free tomorrow? Because we've got nothing to do and we want to do a commentary." We ended up doing one for Ghostbusters.
Oh.
Which is coming out in May, I think, or it's already out by the time you'll have been hearing this. And that one went all right. We didn't talk about Ghostbusters at all for the entire film. But...
Me and my... well, it's about normal for you, isn't it? me and my partner went to go and see Ghostbusters when it was re-released a few years ago, and it was basically ruined because there were some travelling people in the crowd and they were very loud and annoying.
Did they chase you out of the theatre and onto an island where a porridge oat ghost attacked you?
I was ready to chase them out. Yeah, I think we all got our money back, actually.
Oh, wow.
As in, everyone... Because everyone in the cinema was complaining about them. They did leave halfway through, so we got to enjoy half of Ghostbusters in relative silence.
Which half? Was it the second half?
The latter half, yeah.
I like this jailer. He's my favourite.
He's just a complete dick.
He's a complete dick, but he's happy.
He's a casually racist, happy fat man.
Yes. Why put the Russian lines in Russian in the subtitles?
Because maybe they'll usually subtitle things that they think are plot relevant. If it's just background chatter in the middle of a scene, then they probably don't deem it important.
I just know, say in the last film, every time anybody spoke a language that wasn't English, they just said "speaks in" and then whatever language it was.
Here we go. Take me back to dear old blight. What's track 2? It's frankly, Mr. Shankly. Frankly, Mr. Shankly's position.
Yeah, the thing goes positively Batman 66 for the next 3 or 4 minutes. I
don't remember a scene in Batman 66 where they fight a fat man in an Afghan prison.
Yes, it's Frank.
Was that a deleted scene?
Yeah, this is akin to when Adam West fights Frank Gorshin's The Riddler. Still love that anecdote. Wow, him, Frank Gorshin, and Cesar Romero went to an orgy all in character.
What? I've never heard this.
You've never heard of that?
That sounds like the most urban of urban myths.
No, genuinely. Adam West went on Gilbert Gottfried's...
That's up there with fucking Walt Disney's Frozen in a lab somewhere.
No, I think it was Adam West went on Gilbert Gottfried's Colossal podcast, which I highly recommend if you like sort of old television and film stars.
No, I've heard some of that. I've listened to some of those. They're good.
They're good. And he mentions that basically when they were filming one day on Batman 66, Frank announced that he'd been invited to an orgy after filming, but he was a bit reluctant to go. So Adam West and Cesar Romero went, "Oh, we'll go," and they all turned up at the orgy in character and just basically started doing an episode of Batman 66 in the orgy.
What a scene, man!
Yeah, the 60s were wild, man.
We're all going to orgies dressed as Batman. It was great.
Yeah. You've had your last French tickler, Riddler. Dun, 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 dun. Imagine being just an unsuspecting member of public at the orgy when Adam West, Frank Gorshin, Cesar Romero turn up in character.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at your phrase, the unsuspecting member of the orgy. You sort of talk about it like it's just those casual things like afternoon tea.
Well, to the average orgy goer, I imagine it probably is.
The average orgy goer. I'd love to meet the average orgy goer. What's he or she like?
Very comfortable.
Very, very, very comfortable. Very too comfortable.
Probably quite quiet about what they get up to on the weekends.
I wouldn't be. I'd tell the world. I'd tell my parents. I'd be so impressed with myself.
So you just come into your team chat on Monday morning. Hi guys, what have you been up to?
Oh, I'll tell you what I did, right? Uncle Fred's funeral. Very sorry to hear about your loss. Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh.
So the other day, funny thing actually.
I was feeling a little bit horny, as you know.
Is there no? I like how there's like there's no innuendo or subtlety. I was feeling like I wanted to have sex with multiple people, so I
Consensually, of course.
yeah.
So I got on the phone to Bazza, and Bazza was like, "Yeah, mate, we'll get an orgy together." He put on a copy of Black Lace's The Blue Album.
Is that the one they did that was like the adult one?
Yeah, that's the one where they basically took all of their pop songs and just basically made them about masturbating, having sex, and big willies.
You played me a bit of that. It sounded like it just sounded like a Viz comic brought to oral form, which is not as good as it sounds.
No, it's fucking awful. It's one of the worst albums I've ever heard in my life. I wish Todd and the Shadows would cover it.
So obviously Dan's got the vinyl, the CD. He's downloaded it on multiple formats.
It must be preserved.
I can't imagine it's on Spot. It might be on Spotify.
It is not on Spotify.
I've looked.
I have checked. Banned in the UK, produced in Spain. With such hits as Supercock, a cover of Superman, Do the Condom, which is Do the Conga, Agadoo is Have a Screw.
You missed Bond's casually racist line there.
Oh, he didn't say let's get out of here, the place is full of did he?
When he said to Kara, come on, they'll save you for the harem.
Oh. Yeah, that's not good.
Maybe. Well, I mean, if you go to an orgy, that's kind of a harem.
You know what? He's giving me more and more Uncle Timbo vibes as it goes along. Just
It's
says things that are slightly uncomfortable.
It's the work of the Mujahideen, and this scene will not age one single bit, Kara.
No,
not one single bit. It will be timeless forever.
Oh, God.
I'm sure this will not look very strange to modern audiences. No, it won't. Not one little bit.
So
we should mention here a bit of historical context. The I'm going to be called a horrible racist for constantly mispronouncing this. Mujahideen. Right.
Okay.
Just splice me saying that, and then just splice that through the thing every time.
I'm just going to cut to you saying, like, some really racist interpretation of it and just cut and paste that in every time.
So, basically, they were the Afghan resistance who... Because at this time, that's when the Soviets had invaded Afghanistan. And we liked them because they didn't like the Soviets.
Yeah.
Because that was how the Cold War worked. If they're... Your friends are my friends, your enemies are my enemies.
Should also point out 2 films prior, we were literally kissing the Russian generals on the mouth.
I should say your friends are my enemies and your enemies are my friends.
Yes.
That's basically, if you want to sum up the Cold War in one sentence, that was it.
Yes.
And because these guys were attacking the Russians and won, incidentally.
Ooh.
The Americans and the West liked them quite a lot. And then they took power of the country around 1989, and they all split off and became very factional and very divided, and then they became the Taliban. And it was all fine after that.
I was going to, it's a good job you explained that history, because I was going to come in with the line, I've met these people, they're called the Taliban, they're very good.
No, these aren't literally the Taliban. The Taliban sort of evolved out of the division within the Mujahideen, but they weren't a terrorist organization. They were just... It's an Arabic word, I believe, and it's to do with like resistance, rebellion. That's why they called, because the whole idea was they were rebelling against the Soviets and their communist government.
Surprisingly poignant, considering that current circumstances globally are that Russia is on the border of Ukraine and ready to basically try and seize the Middle East as a power source imminently.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that'll happen.
No. Well, never say never. Uncle Joe's on the button. Anything could happen. Or as Donald Trump would say, Sleepy Joe.
I don't think anyone's keen to start Cold War 2.
I don't know. They had
the secret of the use.
They had the best soundtrack, man. We Could All Die Any Day, 1999. 2 tribes.
Say what you want about the Cold War, but that Gorbachev, he was a sexy mother.
Hey, he shook hands with both Ronalds, Reagan and McDonald's.
You see, it wasn't Ronald Reagan who tore down the Berlin Wall. It was Sylvester Stallone in Rocky IV.
He punched that wall down whilst David Hasselhoff backed the track that won the hearts of millions.
I think I talked about this earlier. The bit at the end of Rocky. You seen Rocky IV?
Oh yeah, I love Rocky IV.
There's a bit at the end where he's doing the big speech. If I can change, you can change. We can all change. And it's like, oh my God, communism is over. End it now.
Did you hear about Sylvester Stallone's attempts to release a director's cut of that film?
I believe so. I think you talked about this last time. But yeah, he's going to...
No, he's done it.
Oh, he's done it.
It's been out. He basically recut the film to take all of the weird bits out, like the talking robot. And
but the weird bits are what make it.
Yeah, it's now like... have you seen Rocky Balboa? The one where he's an old man working in a deli.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah. He's re-edited Rocky IV to be more tonally in line with that.
I mean... So he's basically made it less like a relic of the 80s.
Yeah, it's now basically just a film about a man against the world, fighting Ivan Drago.
I don't know. I think the weirdness sort of makes it what it is.
He's also...
I tried that after I saw this film, right? I was trying to impress a girl once, and I did what he just did then, and said the word beautiful in Afghan, and she thought that was really impressive. I didn't tell her. Yeah, she was like, oh, you're so cultured. Oh. I was like, yeah, I didn't just steal that from the Living Daylights.
Can I
have sex with you now?
Can I?
I've got an orgy at 4. Come on. Time's time.
Hang on, let me have a swig of me Fanta first.
That's just how I roll.
Can we hashtag that accidental partridge?
Zelda, fucking state of you. You're stuck for life now. It's going to be like that film Stuck on You with Matt Damon. That's going to be me and you, Kat.
It starts off as a quite nice buddy comedy. Ben was just a normal guy until Zelda got stuck to his jumper. And then it actually turns quite grim when Zelda dies like 3 days later and you've just got a rotting cat on your jumper permanently.
Zelda, fuck off with that claw shit. Honest to God.
It's out of love.
It's not my fault my jumper's sticky.
Careful.
So you learn 2 things in this scene. You learn beautiful in Afghan, and you learn horse's arse in Russian.
Oh, brilliant.
I didn't get to use that one on a girl.
So if you put the 2 together, you can say to a girl, beautiful horse's arse.
You have a beautiful horse's arse. That's a very oxymoronic statement.
That's called a backhanded compliment.
Oh, dear me.
Meanwhile, in the desert, more titting about.
What do you mean, meanwhile, in the desert? We were in the desert already.
Yeah, but now we're even in the deeper desert.
We're in the big desert.
I think Right Said Fred wrote a song about that, Deeply Desert.
Deeply desert, gonna blow up the Russians.
You know, they recently shared a neo-Nazi on their Twitter platform.
Yeah, the Right Said Fred man's a bit weird.
Yeah, he is a bit odd. It's because he's got an eggy head.
That's why he's weird. Watch out. Don't trust bald men.
Don't.
Bald, stay away.
That's why bald men are so uptight. It's because hair is the receptor.
One minute you're singing songs about sexy items of clothing. The next you're storming the Capitol.
And kissing Graham Linehan on the mouth. Weird people.
See, I can't see why the Red Cross were upset at the use of their logo.
No, this makes perfect sense.
In this scene of drug smuggling, shooting and bombing and blowing up.
I have no problem with this. I'm sure that Amnesty International had a lot to say about this film.
Did Amnesty International exist in the 80s?
Yeah.
They probably did.
They did, because the Secret Policeman's Ball was sponsored by him, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, of course. Ooh, I'm a twat moment. Now, just getting a little sample for later. I'm sorry, I'm not convinced. I might have to get another sample. Cut to like a SpongeBob style caption. 3 hours later. Give me another. Oh shit, man.
It goes to a wide shot and it's just him basically stabbing a cactus.
Give me more drugs.
The terrorists have left. They've been gone for like ages, and the drugs are just like.
Give me more happy juice.
Yeah. Bond, you're eating a raw pawpaw.
Bond, you're putting raw opium in your Bollinger. This'll take you right in. Oh, crap.
He lies back and Perfect Day starts playing. You're watching the Living Daylights comedy dining experience.
This is like what I said before, the evil plan, all this intrigue about, we're going to killing spies and Soviet stuff and all the rest of it and arms dealing. In the end, it just amounts to they're just selling some dope.
Yeah.
Again.
It's
like, just, come on, you're Bond. In terms of the films, you're Bond, you can do better than that.
This is the thing this film reminds me a little bit. It's basically like...
Have Koskov have a device that can fire a meteor at the... Oh, by the way, we didn't talk about that. I forgot to mention it afterwards, and I kicked myself in A View to a Kill. The original, the first draft of the script, Zoran's evil plan was totally different.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of a nonsensical plan that made absolutely no sense, he was going to build a machine that would drive Halley's Comet to the Earth.
What? Oh, the tang from the 7-Up cherry made me question that. Like, what? Okay.
Don't ask me how it would have worked. I'm sure they didn't ask that either.
Was this just after Moonraker had released? Bond worked so well in space, let's send him up again.
I don't like, does Owen have like a giant machine with like a magnet, like the old like red and black magnet?
You see, now I'm really looking forward to the idea of a Nazi with a monocle holding a stick of dynamite riding Halley's Comet down to Earth.
It could have been a cheesier classic than usual.
Oh, yeah.
Bond, you have to stop Zoran's giant magnet.
I think Zoran's giant magnet is a great idea, and I think we should let him do whatever he wants to do. Bond, we're relieving you of duty.
He's going to push communists away from Britain. That's how magnets work, right? Right? Yes, it is. Good.
Oh, shit. I saw...
What you oh shitting at?
You just reminded me, right? And it's a bit of a tonal downer, but it just made me go.
Bring us down.
I think I'm gonna have to. So basically,
why'd you have to?
It's the law. They won't let me not. They announced today that one of the ways they're going to be combating people crossing the channel on boats, and it sounds like a fucking supervillain plan, right?
Yeah.
So people coming from Calais to England, one of the ways they're going to stop them is they've developed a sonic audio cannon, and they're basically just going to like shoot a sound wave at them and blow them out of the water.
What the sonic audio cannon? You sure you just weren't reading the failed plot synopsises for
hang on
rejected Bond scripts?
Sound cannon.
No, I know. I do know. You don't have to look it up. I do know it exists. They used something like that in Cuba recently. Oh, you got a slinky. They've been smuggling slinkies. So that's Koskov's plan.
The perfect crime. Everyone knows it's slinky.
The perfect crime.
Oh wait, no, I'm going to correct it. The Royal Navy have just announced that they're not going to do that.
I'd like to think that there was like a gap of 5 minutes between those two announcements.
Priti Patel announced that it was definitely happening, at which point the Royal Navy said it's not part of our ethics.
That sounds like our government. Basically just announce things without actually thinking about or doing it. Like tomorrow she'll be like, we've got a new plan to keep immigrants out of Britain. We're going to fire giant wasps at them. Giant robot wasps. And these robot wasps can attack an immigrant from up to 50 feet.
They fire missiles.
They're powered by sweets.
And sunlight and children's blood. At which point, 5 minutes later, the army will go, no.
Exactly. Okay, then how about this? It's a machine that can turn into a giant dog. And the giant dog will bark at them and scare them. Yeah, dog.
The headlines go, Patel announces giant robot killer dog will attack immigrants. Then 5 minutes later, the headline updates to say Boris Johnson pledges £35 million to build giant robot dog that will attack immigrants. Then the army say no. And that 35 million's gone, and we don't know where it's gone.
Dan, where's your headline grabbing skills? The headline for that should be something like Robo Doggo a no-no.
Release the Robo Farage.
Down, boys. They got they're smuggling all the slinkies. They got the dope, heroin and slinkies, which it was actually the working title of the film.
Oh my god! Have you seen all those wishbones?
I wish that the bomb was like a old-fashioned cartoony bomb with like a black sphere with a going all the way down it.
Well, so in the final act when he's
and it says like something on it like kaboom.
So the final act when he gets back on the aircraft carrier, he can just be like, "Some days you can't get rid of a bomb." No, I need to do that more Welsh. Some days you can't get rid of a bomb.
That wasn't bad.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, is time for shooty blowy up time.
Oh no. And thus begins 10 minutes of titting about. I'm going for a piss.
I like how you choose the action sequences to go for a piss.
Well, it's because right.
I'll stay for the knobbing, but not the blowing.
The thing is, right.
Shouts in Russian.
I like a nice action sequence, but this action sequence goes on for fucking ages.
He's doing a Shenmue technique there.
I was just getting a
Instead of a forklift, it's a digger.
Perfect.
Excuse me. Do you know where I can find the Mujahideen? I'm sorry, I'm in a hurry. Okay then.
He gets one of those little.
Bums!
Oh, bums. I stayed for the bums, but now I shall leave.
Okay, so once again, he's left me riding solo to talk to you about the Living Daylights. And Zelda, what do you think of the Living Daylights? Are you a fan of this? This was actually one of the first ones I ever saw, because my dad was really into the Tim Dalton era, all two of them. And so these were the first ones he had on video. So in a way, this film always feels very special and nostalgic, because it's the one of the first ones I ever got, and I'm a little bit distracted because the cat is trying to jump out the door and trying to commit suicide, basically. So I have to do this while at the same time preventing that. And guess he didn't dig that, eh? God, I'm so hilarious. Oh, how do I do it? So, more shooting, more general mayhem and chaos. I was riding solo. I think I did really well.
I'm glad. I will look forward to listening to what you said in secret when I come back to edit these.
I'll tell you what I said. It wasn't apart from the bits where I said like, Dan's got me trapped here. I don't know what happened. I just woke up one morning and I'm here. And I can't leave. He doesn't let me leave. Someone please call someone. Call the authorities. Call the relevant authorities.
I was working on my returning from a piss line whilst I was having a piss. And the best that I got was, Ben, I've just pissed out of my cock. Now I'm back and ready to rock.
Killer.
Thank you.
I was talking about the fact that this was one of the first Bond films I ever saw.
Oh.
Because my dad was a big Tim Dalton fan.
Oh, is he a Dalton head?
He's a Dalton head, yeah. Adult head.
Yeah.
And he... those are the first ones that he got on video.
Oh, wow. It's pretty bad luck, really, to be a fan of Timothy Dalton's Bond, really. It's almost bad to be a George Lazenby fan. You've just got the one film. He's
like
the
that.
best.
Yeah, because the George Lazenby era you can do in 2 hours.
I'm doing a marathon of the best Bond ever, George Lazenby.
We watch On Her Majesty's Secret Service, then we watch it backwards.
Then we watch it with the commentary on.
Watch it with the commentary.
And then we Skype George Lazenby. He doesn't charge anything, we just call him.
He's on that, what's it called, that website where you can...
Cameo.
Cameo. He's on that, but he doesn't charge anything.
No, it's just free.
He just does it for the love of it.
If you say you're a big fan, he'll record whatever you want.
Oh, aye.
Oh, no, not a grenade.
Well, you know what happens with grenades? They do that.
Oh, no. You know how this film would have been improved? Cast in Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey is James Bond. Oh, watch out!
We gotta sell those bombs.
This is when Jim Carrey would have been an up-and-coming whippersnapper, appearing in Clint Eastwood movie, cameoing in Clint Eastwood movies.
And that vampire film, I think it's called Love at First Bite.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a comedy vampire movie where he has to decide whether he wants to fall in love with the girl of his dreams. But she's a vampire, so he'll have to become a vampire.
But he's about to find out.
Term teacher! My cello performances did not prepare me for this.
I thought it was going to be like, she's got the cello out.
Oh, yeah.
She's driving the car with it.
She just puts a brick on the accelerator and she's on the back just going...
Cara, you forgot your brick.
Put it back, Cara, put it back.
Wait, I have to get my xylophone.
Now it cuts back to Russia. She runs in and grabs it.
They've somehow they got back in time to finish off the rest of the action sequence.
Yes. You see what I mean, though? This action scene is going on for bloody ages.
Wait, I forgot my 1969 Moog synthesizer.
Wow.
I forgot my theremin.
Wait, I forgot my baby grand. Slowly. 2 minutes later. Oh shit, I forgot my actual grand.
Oh.
Uncle Timbo's just sat in the front seat with his head in his hands, just like, fuck, this is like the 8th trip back.
And every time they have to get chased by the police. They don't seem to learn.
The only thing that changes in each re-establishing shot is Timothy Dalton's tuxedo gets gradually more and more destroyed. You sort of see like sweat stains under his arms.
His hair gets greyer.
Yeah. By the end, he's just a skeleton.
Oh dear. I'm trying to think of more wacky instruments. I think we've exhausted them all.
Oh wait, I've left my bassoon. Oh wait, I've left my sousaphone. Oh wait, I've left my automaton.
Automaton?
Yeah, that's where is it? Laura's got one on that shelf somewhere. It's one of those up there in the top right-hand corner. It's like got a smiley face on it, but it's like a musical note shape.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, basically it's like a mini sort of stylophone thing, but it's on a sliding scale, and you have to push his mouth open to make him make noises.
Oh.
Mm. Well, that could have gone worse.
Where's his sad dance? I mean, he had a happy dance earlier.
Just sort of stood on the on the runway, just doing like
no.
Do you think she gives a fuck about the cello anymore?
Where is the cello at this point?
I want to see a spin-off film that just follows the cello through this movie.
Well, I mean, it's good for how it gets shot at one point.
Mm.
I don't know much about cellos. I imagine, because we see her playing it later again, so I assume that you can shoot a hole in it and it'll be fine. But probably not.
That's another disappointing thing about this film. At no point does Bond fight a baldy man.
No, but he does what he does in every other film and just fights a blonde Aryan man.
Yes.
They have done this sequence so many times.
Literally since From Russia with Love.
Yeah, but they never topped that scene.
No. I was having this sort of thought. I'm going to save this until we finish Classic Bond, but I was having this thought about
Zelda. Will you please learn things in your life? Honest to God.
I was having to think about what out of all of these Bond films, which ones I would probably choose to watch again, and which ones I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And From Russia with Love is still that weird sort of odd one of all of the list where I don't think it's a very good Bond film, but I think it's a tremendous spy movie.
I get exactly what you mean, yeah. Because the Bond tropes haven't really been established yet, for better or worse.
Yeah.
They would by the very next film, but yeah. Tick-tock, tick-tock. These days, you could probably get bombs by just doing it through Siri or Google or something.
Oh yeah, they're only about 2 foot off the ground. There's a fan blowing them, big mattress below.
Well, yeah, you know that. Well, I mean, that shot is obviously real, but
no, 2 foot off the ground.
No, I mean the close-ups of them are they are 2 foot off the ground, but those wide shots are stunt people, obviously.
No, mate, entire film 2 foot off the ground.
The entire film was shot 2 foot off the ground.
Yes. Timothy Dalton had to hover for most scenes.
It's amazing. How did they do that?
Well, Timothy Dalton is actually 8 foot tall.
Timothy Dalton can levitate.
Yes.
What's his superpower?
They had to do some audio processing to remove the noise that follows him as he gently hovers around the room. But
the ADR budget of the film was $7 million.
Yes. He was really the right Bond for the job, but that noise has got to go. No! The food parcels!
My precious smack! How will I get the monkey off my back now?
Shit, he's easily lost at least 10 quid's worth of opium there.
10 quid?
Well, I mean, I'm not wrong. It is at least £10 worth is disappearing right there.
My precious nectar, gone forever.
I'm trying to remember. I think this might have been the first film to have a Bond game based around it. It was either this one or License to Kill.
I think maybe A View to a Kill would be the first.
Double check.
Because I think A View to a Kill had like an Amiga game. Could be wrong, I don't actually know.
Let's have a look. Oh, you were absolutely right. A View to a Kill did have a video game.
Ah. We'll do a Let's Play of it.
A View to a Kill are two separate... What? Right, this is written weird. A View to a Kill are two separate video games released in 1985 and based on the James...
separate video... Yeah.
Yeah, are two separate video games released in 1985 based on the James Bond film A View to a Kill. The first is an action game titled A View to a Kill, the computer
for a minute
game.
There, I thought it was based on Out of Africa.
Yeah.
I'm glad it clarified.
I wonder what the second one is. It doesn't say. Let's have a look. Oh, the second one was a text-based adventure... Wow.
Oh.
A text-based adventure game called James Bond 007, A View to a Kill.
Oh, we'll do a Let's Play of it.
I love the idea that of all the films they could have adapted to a text-based version.
Well, I mean, it was just because that was the film that happened to be out at that time.
Steroid Horse Nazi Blimp Man, the movie, was the...
I think it was just because that was the film that was out. It's not so much that, like, they wrote the film and gone, this would be perfect for a brand new technology.
Oh, God. I mean, 2 years earlier, admittedly, they would have been doing Moonraker, the text-based adventure game. Wow, that was some pretty bad back projection.
You missed him pulling it up. He got the boot down. Because he was wearing boots.
You know what? I'm very disappointed that I haven't
Maybe it was a reference to the pharmacy healthware shop boots. Maybe Bond was just like, must get some Johnnies in for the weekend. Some baby oil. Bit of olive oil.
You know what, I will say this.
Albus oil.
Given that the film's budget has gone up so much, I am very impressed with the amount of anti-spider tanks that they are using in these movies.
Specifically designed for spiders.
For spiders.
There's a weird... I don't know, this third act has a weird tone to it because we're sort of like... It doesn't... I don't know, it just feels like there's no big like lead-up moment to like a grand battle. Like, obviously there's all this business, but it feels like it just kind of peters to a halt.
This is what...
As opposed to lead up to this grand crescendo.
This is what...
music, because she plays musician...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm talking about when I say that it's basically just desert titting about. Because the third act, that big action scene leading up to the baddie getting kicked off the plane... That was quite kind of like a good finale, but then the titting about in the desert action scene keeps going.
In a minute, when we go to Joe Don Baker in his toy shop, that feels very much like an afterthought.
I'll tell you what it reminds me of: The Spy Who Loved Me.
This is a good effect though, with the bridge blowing up.
No, this reminds me of The Spy Who Loved Me in the sense that you get that really grand kind of action sequence in the submarine base where everything's blowing up, and then the actual bad guy being taken out is just, he walks in the room, shoots him dead, done. What I'm saying is, this needed more Kananga.
Yes, we needed to poke Joe Don Baker with a magic balloon bullet.
And then watch him inflate and go, ah! As he flew out the room.
I think he just does that anyway, without help from the shark gun.
They actually had to pay him not to.
Out of petrol? Well, why didn't they just do what Roger does at Style of Octopussy and go to a petrol station?
Just land the aircraft carrier on like an Esso.
Go. Here you go, Cara. Should be £2,000, £3,000, £4,000. And, get some crisps as well.
I need a receipt.
Get some crisps as well, McCoy's. That'll do me.
Did they do squares?
They don't do squares, I think, anymore. I haven't seen squares in ages.
Did they do chipsticks?
I don't know.
Did they do New Bond likes chipsticks?
Do they actually still make Walker squares?
Yeah.
I haven't seen them in ages.
Yeah, Walker squares are still going, as far as I'm aware. At least, I've not actively looked for them in a couple of months, but they're still about.
Which is the kind of thing I do. I actively look for Walker squares.
I actively look for crisps I don't eat, but...
I leave the house specifically for some Walker squares. That is my heroin.
Do you remember Frazzles?
In my version of the film, they're smuggling Walker squares in Red Cross parcels.
There's at least 50 pence worth of Frazzles on this plane.
And they would be dead.
Yes. They would have immediately, no pun intended, been sucked off.
No one's surviving this.
No. Well, there's the whiplash, and the spines are gone. Dead.
And we'll just speed up the film a bit there.
And they're dead. Oh, they're never going to get up to 88 miles an hour if they don't pick up their game.
Well, it's very much like the Sean Connery films in that sense, and that little weird speedy up bit.
Yeah.
Which the Sean Connery films would do it every single fight.
Yes. I think my favourite one was the bit in For Your Eyes Only, weirdly, where that bus gets in the way of the bad guys, so they pull a gun on him, and then it speeds up the bus driver, quickly putting it in reverse.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. And with that, the film is over.
I even think that would be a great way to end it, with that little joke and the little drive off.
Yeah.
But now we have to tie up the loose ends.
I mean, that actually would have been a good way to open License to Kill, just have him finishing off this mission and have it literally be like...
I thought you were going to say a good way to start License to Kill would be like, where he goes, I know a great restaurant in Karachi, we can make lunch. It starts with him in the restaurant, finishing up.
He just has a succulent meal.
He looks at the... Here I am. That was very nice, Cara. Eating a meal. A succulent Chinese meal. Now let's look at the receipt. Oh, fucking hell. Cara's gone to the toilet. Bond just looks at the receipt, goes, off I go now, bye-bye.
I thought you were going to say he finishes his meal, he opens the wine list, and he's just having a look for dessert wines, and then he stops for a second and goes, oh shit, I forgot about the American. And then cuts to the room, he's launching nukes. And...
It's alright, he's not doing much by the looks of it. He's playing with his little toys.
What is the point? I've got perfect recreation of this battle, but I'm doing it as if I was in it.
Well, it's not a perfect recreation then. You're cosplaying. That's what you're doing. That's essentially what Brad Whitaker's character is. He's a cosplayer of a general.
He's not my favourite Bond villain.
They could have done a lot more with that sort of character. Because the thing is, I actually quite like the character on paper.
Yes.
I just don't think they executed it very well.
No. That's the thing with this film.
He sort of gets pushed to the side, so while we deal with Happy Dance Man and Grant Clone number 5006.
It's kind of ironic, really, that when Roger started, they wanted to be as far away from Sean Connery as it's physically possible to be. They wanted to define him as his own thing. And this film, introducing Timothy Dalton, is basically trying to be as, reminiscent of both Bonds as it's possible to be.
Well, I think the answer to that is, by this point, the Bond films have been around for over 20 years. So they're getting to the point now where people are nostalgic for them. People who would have seen Dr. No and Sean Connery. So that's why.
I love the fact he's got a little face shield.
He's got a little bulletproofy thing.
A little bulletproof face shield.
I like that. That's quite a cool idea. The sequence has a lot of good ideas. They just don't seem to all work together as one.
I mean, this is border wacky world territory at this point.
It's, compared to the rest of the film, yeah, but it's not, too bad in itself.
No. Do you remember that, Ben? 4 films ago when he fought Christopher Lee?
It's all drama.
It's all kicking off outside.
The police will be wanting a copy of this recording. Where were you on the night of the 19th?
It ends up like the Electric Sun Festival.
When Darren and Gaz beat up Craig and Daz.
Beat up that old druggy prostitute.
Who was waving at the ground.
Yes. It turns out that we end up live streaming the court proceedings, but we try and use it as a marketing stunt. So, can you confirm that you were at this address at this time? Yes, I can. We were recording the Comedy Dining Experience, available on YouTube.
The what?
The Comedy Dining Experience. Do you like commentaries?
I'm just bafflement. What were you doing?
we purposely bring the whole recording to the trial and make them watch it in full, synced to the film.
This is what I mean. Like, I like the idea on paper of like a villain of like an American who was a complete reject when it came to actual military work, but he's a bit of a nerd and a bit of a cosplayer about military stuff.
Yeah,
and he just paints himself as this like idealistic version of what he wants to be, and that could have been a really interesting character. But the thing is, he's in about 3 scenes, and he gets completely overshadowed by Mr. Happy Dance Russian Man.
Yes. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like I say, I think for me the difficulty is that it's not
a rare Bond villain in. I'm talking about Koskov, who doesn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, normally they get offed at the end.
You say this, though, but if we're going by Timothy Dalton logic, he probably did die off screen.
Well, there's this line here.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they could have executed him. Were Russians still doing executions? And I think they still have the death penalty, don't they?
The secret police were knocking about until 1988-89. They're actually, funnily enough, I watched a news article.
Were they still executing people post-Stalin?
Yeah. There was still, well, off the record, of course, but wasn't like they weren't as bold as Stalin.
Do you know North Korea still have public executions?
Oh wow!
Not only do they have the executions, they have public executions. They get people in stadiums.
I mean, it passes the time.
Can you imagine that? Like, what should we do tonight, lover? Nothing on the telly. I mean, and all there is on the telly is just programs about what a great God King Kim Jong-il is.
Get your coat, love. I'm taking you out for a slap-up meal and we're going to go watch people be hung.
Again?
Yeah, again. Well, you moaned last time I took you get them shot.
I mean, you see one person get shot.
Yeah, but
I've seen them all, haven't you?
It's like Ed Ballet, though. They drop down and they do a little dance.
I wonder if they televise it. That'd be fucking weird.
Yeah, it's pay-per-view. It's next to Babe Station.
Korea basically never left 1955.
Blimey.
But this I'm not so keen on this as an ending. It's a bit cheesy. It's a bit all together now. All our friends are here.
Yeah.
And you were there. And you why is M here? He has no reason to be here. There you go. See.
Oh, there he is.
Last time we see him as well.
Oh, that's a shame. I think he should have been more prominent in the film, I'll be honest, because this is the time they go to Russia, and he's not in it.
They don't go to Russia.
I thought there was a section of it set in Russia where they're chasing down, the cops chase them down.
That's not Russia, that's Germany and Czechoslovakia.
Oh
no, it's actually Austria.
Is it a bad time to mention I did fail my GCSE in geography?
Yes. And why are they here?
This is getting me prepped.
There is no reason for them to be here.
They wouldn't have been allowed in with the bullets anyway.
I've just realised he's got a little bullet thing on him. And they allowed him in. I suppose, actually, to be fair, Dan, are you going to argue with a guy covered in bullets if he wants to come in? Probably not.
This is just giving me really strong end of Casino Royale vibes.
If I worked at that box office, I don't think I'd argue with a guy armed to the teeth.
When do the cowboys break in?
I don't care about my job that much.
When does the dolphin turn up?
What if she thought, as a joke, I'll whistle Rule Britannia, and then it blows up?
And this is a really shit end as well. It just basically, they have a kiss and then the credits just sort of crash in.
Well, that's how every Bond film ends.
Like, look, it just goes, boom, credits, done. Hang on, any second now.
You're making me look like a fool, film.
There, see?
Well.
They didn't even do the fade right. The credits just sort of jumped in on the last scene. They should have...
Fire the editor. Fire them. Go back to 1987 and fire them.
Fire the director, fire the editor. This is
The Pretenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bit too cool for school for me. It's just kind of like, you know.
Well, I think Chrissy Hynde was a bit pissed off because I think she wanted to do the main theme. But they went with Aha.
Well, I mean, the original lineup was supposed to be the Pretenders doing the front song and Right Said Fred doing the end song.
Did they exist in 1987?
They did. I'm Too Sexy, I think, was 1987.
No. I'm Too Sexy was like 91, 92.
Was it?
Yeah.
Shit.
That's like that song's like right in the middle of like lad culture becoming a thing.
Time is.
You're a lad, aren't you, Zelda? You're one of the lads.
So what have we learnt from The Living Daylights?
Well, Dan's learnt a lot.
I have. I've learnt.
He's learnt how to kiss girls.
I've learnt don't stop for women trying to flag you down in the middle of the night. Cats have claws.
And he's also learnt what beautiful means in Afghan.
I've learned what beautiful means
so
in
he
Afghan.
can impress all the crazies who live around his way.
I've learned what beautiful horses' arse is in Afghan Russian.
Shall we go back out and invite those shouty people in?
Yes. Like I say, we'll all be doing rock and roll by Gary Glitter by the end of the night. Hey!
Like, you can actually do like the Joker dance.
Yes.
On those steps
Down
outside.
The staircase.
a very low rent version of it, but
Very
still.
low rent, slightly fat Joker.
Sound re-recording at Pinewood Studios.
Oh, I can't wait to buy this on record.
Warner Brothers.
James Bond theme was written by Monty Norman.
Yep.
Will James Bond return?
Well, I mean, yes.
I mean, I know they no longer tell me the name of the film that's coming up, and I'm very upset about that.
No, they always do. They always say that after the credits.
I'm waiting.
Thank you to Philips Electronics. Yes, I'm sure you want to thank them.
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice they were in this film. James Bond will return.
As a pair of champagne glasses, apparently.
Excellent. That was The Living Daylights.
Yes.
Ben, what do you think of The Living Daylights?
I like it. I really do. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's great. I think it's good. That'd be my thing. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's good. It's fine.
I appreciate the swing back.
It's not the dramatic change that they thought it was, and as what they marketed it as being. It's not that different from the previous ones, really.
No,
not as crazy. Maybe it's the last few, but it's it's still very much a Bond film.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think it's a solid attempt to bring Bond back to a more realistic, serious approach.
Yeah.
After years of kind of
I thought it was especially
itself.
realistic when he flew the car out of the plane.
Yes, I loved that bit. That was my favourite.
That very realistic moment.
My favourite realistic...
Or when he shot the missiles at the truck, as the DVD menu was showing us.
My favourite realistic bit was when him and Cara got on the cello and rode it down a mountain being chased by skiers. Or the bit where they just cross borders by throwing a passport at somebody and shouting, "We've nothing to declare."
Next time I travel abroad, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to launch my passport at them.
And shout, "You owe me nothing."
Launch my blue Brexit passport at them.
The question, Ben, you've got to ask yourself is, can you outrun a bullet? The answer is no.
There was something funny happened the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Because me and Bex were going away in September.
Ooh.
And she didn't tell me she was doing this, otherwise I would have helped her. She was looking for my passport, and she's like coming through the room, and I come in and the room has been like turned upside down, topsy-turvy, back to front. Where is the fucking passport? I can't find it anywhere. Oh my god! And she's stressing out. Oh, you're gonna have to get a new one, and you have to spend so much money. And I just walked in and literally went, "Oh, you mean this?" I just leant down and picked it up. She's been looking for it for 10 minutes, and I just walk in like a right twat and go, "Oh, right, this."
Did she hit you?
I mean, if she'd just asked me where it was, I might have told her.
Fucking hell. So that was The Living Daylights. Ben, what would you give The Living Daylights out of 10?
I'd give it 6 bags of smuggled heroin out of 10.
That's a good and solid score.
Yeah.
I'm probably a little less charitable. I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay.
I think it's a good, solid effort, but I don't think it's a view to a kill good.
Well, nothing is in your eyes.
No, that's the high
and
watermark.
What does Zelda give it?
Zelda gives it 3 belly rubs out of 10.
Zelda gives it "Let's scare the shit out of Ben" out of 1.
So, to everybody watching at home, do remember to switch your television sets off at the wall. We don't want any electrical fires.
No.
Put out your fire downstairs, and we will see you next time we're going to order takeaway.
We'll see you next week.
Next week, when
Just don't watch any of these for a week, and then it'll seem like that makes more sense.
or if you want to watch more, go
If you can manage that is.
yeah. So from all of us here at Television Centre London, good night.